Finally back in the booth with me. And Jeremy, we could not have asked for a more titanic tilt to start the year.
No doubt about it. This is one of the greatest rivalries in Kansas City. Blue Valley has won 6 of the last 9 games, but erase that. Last season, Aquinas came out here and just thoroughly dominated the game. It was a 47-20 game. Quarterback Will Swanson and running back Cameron Jackson did the majority of the work on the scoreboard. The senior quarterback had 3 touchdowns and the junior running back had 2. What's going to be different about this game tonight is there's a lot of players being replaced on both sides of the ball. Aquinas has a new quarterback, Tate Raboyne. What is he going to do? The first time running this very complex flexbone offense that Randy Dreiling loves to run. And then on the flip side, Blue Valley does return a lot of key players interior and on the defensive side of the ball, but they have a new quarterback in Walker Kinney, and they're going to be without their starting running back and their starting running linebacker. So this is going to be quite interesting to see what happens. How do they replace Alex Tata in this gigantic EKL matchup in Week 1?
You mentioned the absence of Alex Tata. Not only was he a critical part of that team for Blue Valley that made it to the semifinals, he was arguably the MVP defensively. 143 tackles. You heard that right in the regular season for Alex Tata. He was also their starting tailback, so a critical two-way player for the Tigers. From what I understand, he could have gone tonight, but probably no sense in making him go game 1.
Well, when you have a schedule that is loaded as Blue Valley does and Aquinas does, each week is a big game here in the EKL. And yes, this game's important, but you got to keep in mind there are 8 other high school games that are very, very important for them, and both these teams have state championship and deep playoff run aspirations, so better off to maybe not get him banged up too bad in Week 1. I like that call.
Blue Valley, they got to the 6A semifinals a year ago. They dropped that semifinal matchup to Blue Valley North, the eventual state champion, in double overtime. St. Thomas Aquinas, they got to the state title game in 5A a year ago, only to drop that one to Bishop Carroll. Both of these teams still have a bad taste in their mouth from 2017. They want to avenge that, and it starts tonight. Blue Valley will kick off to start this, Aquinas will kick off to start this game. Blue Valley will field the opening kickoff. They are in their white uniforms. They've got their black helmets. They're going to go from left to right across your radio dial. And St. Thomas Aquinas in their navy uniforms. They've got the gold pants, the gold helmets, the STA logo on the side of them. They are going to kick off, and their defense will patrol the right side of the field. Their offense will attack the left end zone. It is teed up. We're ready for football in the state of Kansas. It is packed here in Overland Park. Joe O'Leary has got it teed up. Eric Olson is back deep to return this kick. Alongside him, Brendan Barber. End-over-end line drive kick. Carries 5 yards into the back of the end zone. And here comes that Blue Valley offense, Jeremy.
Yeah, and they're really big up front. I mean, they have some huge size. Everybody's over 6 foot. Most of the guys are in 230-plus range. And they're going to have to rely on that offensive line. I know they lost 3 starters, but all the guys back have tremendous, tremendous size. They're going to rely on them to kind of set this pace early on. And then Aquinas on the other side. Aquinas has got some big dudes also in the interior. That's what's different about both these two teams this season is they both have size like high-level 6A teams, even though Aquinas is a 5A team. This is a great matchup. I'm watching that all night long.
Walker Kinney, the 6'3", 205-pound senior quarterback, will start in a pistol formation for Blue Valley. Checks the sideline, gets the signal. His tailback tonight, Eric Olson, replacing Alex Tata. He's going to open up, throwing the ball left side on a hitch route. He completes it out to the 28-yard line. 1-for-1 start for Walker Kinney.
That's going to be consistent. I like that short throw early on to get him going because, as we talked in pregame, Walker Kinney has all the tools. We saw him throw the ball all over the field last season. He's got a rocket arm. He's 6'3", 205 pounds, and he looks like a high-level quarterback, but he was wildly inaccurate. So I like the play call coming right out of the gate. Safe, easy throw to Cameron Green. Nice first down play.
First reception of the year for Cameron Green. Movement before the snap. Olson rocked out of his stance, and now Blue Valley is going to go 5 yards back.
Yeah, first game jitters, and Olson should not make that type of play. He's a senior, even though this is first game. You don't expect your senior to make that type of mistake.
And Eric Olson, even though he's the backup by name, he still got a lot of the workload last year out of the backfield. 534 rush yards, 7 touchdowns on the ground for Olson.
I liked how they throw the ball to him, too.
Yeah.
A lot of the backfield averaged almost 30 yards a catch.
9 receptions as well, so that's not a fluke number. He was a big play threat out of the backfield. 3 receivers to the right, 1 to the left after the false start. It's 2nd and 7. Kinney checks his home sideline across the way for the play call. 11:15 opening drive of the ball game, 13 on the play clock. Nothing. We're just underway from Aquinas. Pistol snap, they give to Olsen on a counter play, gets through the line, across the 35, 40, spinning around him out, stiff arm to the 47, and he's dragged out from behind. Gashing run by Eric Olsen.
Nice, great interior block by right guard Luke McCumber. The 6-foot, 220-pounder did a nice job going head-to-head against Peyton Reeves, a 6-foot, 265-pound nose tackle. He planted him to the ground and opened up a huge hole right over right guard, and Eric Olsen busts through for a big game.
They spotted at the Blue Valley 48, 1st and 10 for the Tigers opening drive of the ball game. 4 receivers, 2 to the left and 2 to the right. His number 1 target, Green, is in the slot to the left. He's going to look that way on the snap, and it's batted down at the line. Javier DeRitt getting in the passing lane, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, he's a guy that is always around the football. Had 30 hurries last season.
Not bad.
That's it. Again, you wonder sometimes about high school stats, but I remember watching Javier DeRitt last season. He was all over the place, and he gets his big paws up there and bats the ball down. Let's talk about the inaccuracy right there by Walker Kinney. That's a play a quarterback has to make, a simple throw to the outside, just kind of nonchalanted it out there.
DeRitt, by the way, committed to North Dakota State next year. Just another guy in a long list of Aquinas guys headed for the next level. 2nd and 10, they line up in the shotgun formation this time. Kinney, snap, pressure coming, dumps it off to Olsen the flat. He's got room, 45, stutter at the 40, stiff arm to the 35, spins around, and he's decked out of bounds at the 31-yard line. And just like you alluded to earlier, he is a big play threat out of the backfield.
I love the play call. Simple, just a little swing pass, well blocked on the perimeter there. Cameron Green had a nice block on the outside, sets him up, and Eric Olsen goes for big yardage. I like the play call, setting your young quarterback up for some good, easy throws.
10:35 to go, opening quarter. Blue Valley on the move to the 32 of Aquinas. Kinney checks the sideline. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Matt Kennedy is the lone receiver to the right side. Olsen remains the tailback. Couple of big plays already on this drive for him. They're going to hand it to him, running right side, makes one man miss, and dives forward across the 30 to the 29-yard line, gain of 3.
That's one thing I do like about Eric Olsen. And I was talking to a couple Blue Valley fans in the offseason. I made the argument that he should have been the starting running back over Tata because he does have that looseness. He does have that ability to make that first guy miss. And we saw it on the swing pass, but then we saw it right there. That should have been a tackle for a loss, but he did enough to avoid the oncoming defender to get some nice, 3 yards, but that's a much better 3-yard run than what you get credit for.
3 minutes gone in the opening quarter. Kinney is going to send Bregman in motion. Short drop. He's going to flip it out to Olsen the right flat again. This time he goes nowhere, though. Great defense in swarming to the ball first. Jaden Russell.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Jaden Russell. Jaden Russell arguably was the top underclassman in the state for a couple of years, but really fell off last season, was banged up, had some off-the-field issues, too, that kind of kept him from being the type of player that you expect a guy that has a Big 12 scholarship offers to be. So this is an important kind of a make-or-break stretch for him because a lot of schools are still kind of lukewarm on him, but if he plays well early on, suddenly that attention can ramp back up rather quickly. Nice open field tackle by Russell there.
Here comes a 3rd and 7. Kinney, short drop out of the pistol, stepping up in the pocket, running away from pressure, steps up, and he's going to run it, and he gets down across the 26, near the 25, but still about 3 yards short, maybe 2 long yards short of that first down marker.
Yeah, I think you got to go for it here, especially since you're facing a tremendous headwind. We didn't talk a little bit about that at all in pregame, but there is a big wind out of the south right in the Blue Valley offense's face. So you make your kicking game with an inexperienced kicker. You go for it here on 4th and medium.
They call it a 4th and 3. Inside 9 to play, opening quarter, no score, opening drive of the ball game. 3 left, 1 right. Eric Olsen to the right of Walker Kinney in the shotgun formation. Kinney getting that signal. 5 on the play clock. Down to 3 on the play clock. Shotgun snap. He's going to look right side, dump it off to Olsen, and he dropped it wide open in the flat. Would have had a first down, and it's a turnover on downs.
Yeah, I'm going to pin that one on Walker Kinney right there. That was just a simple one-step drop through the ball. Maybe a little quicker than he anticipated he had to, and threw it high for Olsen. Olsen, such sure hands. He normally comes up with those, but I think just a little bit. Knew it's 4th down, tried to get it out quick, and it was just wildly inaccurate on that one.
So a promising drive ends up stalling out for Blue Valley. And now it'll be the first time we see the St. Thomas Aquinas offense, and they are big across the offensive line.
Oh, that's an understatement, Tim.
It will be Tate Raboyne, the 6'3", 175-pound senior quarterback. They will take the first snap of the year for Aquinas. Tyron Tank Young is in the backfield behind him. They're going to open up, option right side. Raboyne will step up, scoot across the 25, get down to 26, call it a gain of 2 yards. And tell us about this offense, Jeremy.
Well, as you mentioned, it's this tremendous size up front. Jaden Roberts is a guy that I'm really excited to watch in person for the first time in a long time. But one guy kind of gets undershadowed is Tank Young, the running back, the sophomore. He had 500, almost 600 yards rushing as a true freshman. He is going to be a nice compliment to Cameron Jackson. Maybe take off some of that pressure for Tate Raboyne.
2nd and 8, Raboyne is going to open up, and now a miscommunication in the backfield is going to lead to Raboyne getting blown up back at the 23-yard line. Tank Young opened up as if he was going to run behind right guard, ran right into Raboyne, and he had nowhere to go.
Well, that's the struggle of running this flex bone offense. So much pressure is on that quarterback to make the exact right read, and we got so used to seeing Will Swanson make that read and with zero effort. It's hard, and we're seeing right there on that second down play. That was a misread by Tate Raboyne.
3rd and 10. Raboyne is going to open up, option near side. Tank Young in trouble, dances around one near the 25, cut back, but he gets gang tackled near the 30-yard line. He made a good initial move, but still 6 yards short of that first down marker.
I liked how Blue Valley rallied to the football there. Had 5 guys around the football there. And even though Young did make that cut back up inside, there were other defenders flying to the football. That's a great job by this Blue Valley defense to start this game off.
So Blue Valley will drop back in punt return formation. Aquinas has got the punt unit out there, and it'll be Joe O'Leary, 6:45 to play opening quarter. O'Leary is going to send a high, short punt into the sky here in Overland Park. It's going to hit it midfield, and Aquinas is going to surround this ball, let it take a hop for the Saints down to the 35. And down it right there. So O'Leary didn't look great off the boot, but it takes a good Saint roll. And Blue Valley will start at their own 35-yard line. Just a reminder, Sports Radio 810's coverage is brought to you by the Sports Medicine and Performance Center at the University of Kansas Health System and A&B CarStar. Also this week, check out Papa John's Fan Challenge. Now through Saturday, fans of Blue Valley can use online promo code 810Tigers. And St. Thomas Aquinas fans can use 810Saints at papajohns.com and receive 30% off their order. 10% of that goes back to the Booster Club. The team with the most online orders will receive an additional 10% Booster Club donations. Better ingredient, better pizza, Papa John's.
I like me some Papa John's.
I wouldn't mind that right now. Both of these teams hungry for a score in the opening quarter.
I like what you did
that?
there. I like. Nice job.
I've been saving that all week. So Blue Valley, this will be the second time on offense for them. 6:30 to play opening quarter. And Walker Kinney back out there with 4 receivers again as he will start in a pistol formation. And Eric Olson had a good opening drive. Starts behind him as tailback. They're going to give to Olson straight up the middle. Gets through the line again across the 45 and gang tackled near the 48. Straight up the gut, nothing fancy. And Blue Valley is running it a whole lot better than Aquinas in the opening quarter.
I tell you what, I called Luke McCumber that first drive. I'm going to call him out again there. He just literally pancaked the defensive lineman there, pulled from left guard or right guard to left and opened up a nice hole over that left guard spot, and then you saw Olson cut back right over center. Luke McCumber's having himself a game early on.
Just shy of midfield of the Tigers, 1st and 10 after another gashing run by Eric Olson, called a gain of 13 on that carry. And they're going to open up 2 left, 2 right on this first down play. Kinney, pistol snap, is going to fake to Olson. He's going to keep it running right side across midfield. Pile drive down to the 47-yard line of Aquinas, gain of 5.
I like that play call. We saw him last season kind of be that running threat when they needed 3rd and short, 2nd and short. He came in with his size at 6'3", 205 pounds, was able to bowl over some guys. I hear from quarterbacks all the time, if the run game gets going for them, they feel even more confident in the passing game. So I like the play call right there.
2nd and 5 from the 47, 5:35 to play. First quarter. And again, Blue Valley having a lot of success in the running game early on in this one. Kinney, pistol snap. He's going to open up, throw right side, and it's incomplete. Threw into a lot of traffic over there, and it's 3rd down.
Yeah, but that one was on the hands there. I'm not going to fault Walker Kinney on that one. He did throw into a very, very tight window. trying to get Dorian Stevens, the sophomore, his first varsity reception. Coaches were very, very high on him, called him a speedster. Another guy just a little inexperienced right there, hits him in the hands, hears the footsteps, doesn't come up with a reception.
Another third down challenge for Blue Valley here, 3rd and 5. Again, off the Aquinas 47-yard line. After an incompletion on 2nd down, Kinney from the pistol. Short drop, throws over the middle, and it's incomplete. Cameron Green got held up on the route.
Yeah.
No flag, and it's going to be 4th down.
That's good defense right there. The linebackers came at him, and I knew they were going to go toward him because Cameron Green's kind of become the security blanket for Blue Valley quarterbacks, was last season. And there again, went to him on that 3rd down attempt, and just good job by this Saints defense. They had a couple linebackers kind of run at him. And, they're lined up in the shotgun here, but this is going to be a punt by Walker Kinney probably.
Yeah, Blue Valley doesn't often send the punt unit out there. A lot of times they'll just let the quarterback drop back and punt it. And that's exactly what Kinney will do. He'll take the snap, boot it over everybody. Nobody back there for the Saints. It's going to take a great Tiger roll inside the 10, inside the 5. And it's going to get down near the 1-yard line. So Walker Kinney, his first punt of the year, he downs it inside the 3, and now here come the Saints for the 2nd time tonight.
Yeah, and you're running this flex bone offense. You had struggles holding onto the ball control early on. You got to really hang on to it right here. You have to be perfect with your reads, both hands around the ball if you're a running back, because the Tigers are going to be doing everything they can to strip the ball.
So St. Thomas Aquinas 3 and out on their opening drive behind that big, highly touted offensive line. There's a miscommunication on 2nd down. Tank Young had a 5-yard carry on 3rd down, but not much to write home about. Here's the 2nd time they touch it. Raboyne is going to hand to Tank Young going straight up the middle. They push the pile across the 4 near the 5-yard line. Short gain on 1st, but it gets them away from that goal line.
It does a little bit, but still, I'm impressed with what we're seeing so far early. This is still early from this Blue Valley defensive line. We talked so much in pregame and all the scholarship offers that this St. Thomas Aquinas offensive line has, but this defensive line from Blue Valley's stood up to them and done a really nice job early on in this first quarter.
They're a little bit undersized, but very athletic across that D-line is Blue Valley. Raboyne under center. He's going to pitch to Young going right side, cuts up near the 7-yard line, spins off one, fights across the 10 near the 12, and Tank Young may have just picked up a 1st down for St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, he is just tough. He's called Tank for a reason. I mean, he's 5'7", and that's kind of being generous there. He's probably more in that 5'6" range, but he did a nice job of fighting off the defenders, doing a nice little spin move to get that extra yardage for the 1st down. Nice conversion for the Saints to get out of the shadow of their end zone.
They do move the chains, spot it at the 13-yard line. Raboyne climbs back in under center. He's going to open up, give to Young straight up the middle, and again drives the pile across the 17-yard line near the 18-yard line. And nothing fancy here on the 2nd drive of the game. They're just hammering it straight up the middle of Blue Valley.
We've seen St. Thomas Aquinas know that they don't do a whole lot fancy. They're going to run their system, run this flex bone, do everything they can. They're going to run their fullback, which is really their tailback, up the middle, then sets up that option run to the R back or to the L back eventually.
No carries yet for Cameron Jackson. And we'll talk about him in a second. Raboyne climbs back in under center. And he's going to give it to Jackson near side, 25-30. Jackson in a foot race, 35, and he's caught from behind and pushed out of bounds. There's that guy as soon as we mention his name. A big run for Cameron Jackson out across the 40-yard line. Call that a gain of 25.
And that's the flex bone to perfection. You run it one way, run it one way. Then you come back with the counter on the other side, the R-back Cameron Jackson. Tremendous blocking on the perimeter. Shot off with his jets and was able to get the big 1st down game.
Jackson last year ran for 1,414 yards, sent the St. Thomas Aquinas rushing record. Young right side on the toss, spins around, and he's going to get dropped near the 44-yard line. Sets up a 2nd, and let's call it 9 yards for Aquinas. Raboyne back in under center. Barnett to his left, Jackson to his right, and Young right behind him in that wishbone set. Raboyne is going to option it, but flags fly at the snap. And this should be a false start on Aquinas.
Yeah, Yeah, I can't have two. This is not Canadian football. We can't have two guys in motion, and that's exactly what we did see on that play. And Aquinas, it's kind of hard to describe the flex bone if you've never seen it before, because you do have a lot of motions. You do have wing backs. It's not what we see in this modern era of high school and college football, where the spread is so in vogue. This is what we used to see 15, 20 years ago. Back in the day, back when I played, I remember the Lathan North would run that flex bone, or run that option attack at you. And this is very reminiscent of that. It's very successful because not many teams run it anymore,
right.
And it's so hard to prepare for it.
2nd and 13 after the false start. 2:45 to go opening quarter. Raboyne sends Barnett in motion. He's going to give to Young straight up the middle, drives the pile across the 44 near the 45, and he's gang tackled by white jerseys right there. And here comes a 3rd and 8, so he gets the penalty yardage back. But again, this is that difficult area for St. Thomas Aquinas. And again, you do all these one receiver sets, you become predictable in the passing game.
Yeah, if you look at their receivers, they've got one receiver that has a reception returning. That's just scary when you look at that. They lost their security blanket in Joseph Clunett at tight end. You lost your quarterback, so I'm very curious to see what the play call here on 3rd and long is.
The lone receiver, Isaiah Gavin. Gaboyne is going to open up. He's going to flip it out in the flat left side. Contact. It is incomplete. No flag. Getting tripped up was Barnett. And they're going to call that 4th down. He was open too. Raboyne put it on him. But again, the contact calls Barnett to hit the turf. And now 4th down.
And last time we saw a bad punt here, you have the win. You need to take advantage of this on special teams. And boy, I thought we'd see some points scored here, but boy, nice job by the two defenses early on. It's turned into a defensive struggle.
A much quieter start to this game than we anticipated. High snap over O'Leary's head. Chasing it back near the 15-yard line. Picks it up, tries to punt it away, and he does, and what a beauty. Oh, he hammered it. Near the 34, it's fielded on the run across the 39 to the 40-yard line by Jake Morris. But what a job by Jake O'Leary.
That is called saving your bacon right there. What an outstanding effort. Bad snap, and you see punters all the time panic in those types of situations, but he had the wherewithal to manage to still get his body twisted just enough to kick the ball, because he had two guys in his face with their hands up doing everything they can to block it, and then when he got it off, it went a ways, got up there in that win. So nice job there by the special teams for the Saints.
Unbelievable job by O'Leary. And now Blue Valley will start from their own 40. Still pretty good field position, but could have been a lot better. They give to Olson straight up the middle, and he's ridden down near the 43-yard line. Short gain, call it 3 yards, and it's 2nd and 7.
No, you're right about the field position. This is the 2nd drive in a row where Blue Valley's had very, very good field position, and they're going into the win here, but you got to do something with this. You just can't be gifted great field position against a possession-type offense like Aquinas is. You got to be able to put points up on the board when you get good field position.
2nd and 7, a minute 20 to play in the opening quarter. Still scoreless from St. Thomas Aquinas. This is the 3rd drive for Blue Valley. They went for it on 4th down. Their opening drive, missed it, and punted on their 2nd drive, and now flags at the snap here. And it looks like this one may go against Blue Valley.
Yeah, it's still week 1, I guess, but not the type of mistakes you're used to seeing from these quality coach teams. These two teams usually have those kinks worked out in the preseason.
Another false start against the Tigers. That's their 2nd of this opening quarter. And now 2nd and 7 all of a sudden becomes 2nd and 12 for Blue Valley. As we inch near the end of quarter number 1, 1:09 to play in the first frame. And again, this was a crazy game last year. I mean, St. Thomas Aquinas, they dominated, but they dropped 47 on the Tigers, and we're scoreless right now.
I don't know if we're going to get 47.
No, not at this rate anyway. Inside of a minute as they run the play clock now. Kinney to the shotgun. 2 left, 2 right. Here's the snap. He's going to give to Olson running right side. Looking for room. Gets to the edge, and he is going to get run down from behind. Back at the 38. No gain, and it's 3rd and long.
Nice job by the linebacker, but then also Jaden Russell did a tremendous job at his cornerback spot. I mean, we talked earlier about this being such a big early part of the season, and he didn't make those types of plays when he played last season. He missed on those tackles. He came up and laid a lick right there. Nice job by this entire Saints defense, 3rd and long. This is Cameron Green time if you're Blue Valley. Look for number 13 to be involved in this play in some fashion.
Last year, Cameron Green, 34 catches, 661 yards, 11 touchdowns through the air. He's in the slot to the left side for Walker Kinney. Pistol snap. And out flags fly, and they're going to blow this dead.
That's going to be on the quarterback. I don't know if you saw Walker Kinney kind of started to lean back before the snap came, anticipating the snap. You can't do that.
Sure enough, another false start against Blue Valley. Number 3 and quarter number 1. They're going to be happy to head to the sidelines here in just a second. 3 seconds to go in this first quarter. And their 3rd drive of the game has been the most frustrating drive so far. They have gone backwards. A 3rd and 16. And they're going to run this ball, or they're going to run this clock rather. And they're just going to walk it off. So we're at the end of quarter number 1. No score from St. Thomas Aquinas. Got ourselves a defensive battle early on between 2 top 5 teams in the area. Nothing. Saints and the Tigers on your Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week.
Are you the biggest barbecue fan in Kansas City?
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Did you see all the workers up here the other day? Yeah, I was going to ask if it hurt when you scraped all that tar off. Not as much as I thought it would, and the end result was so worth it. That TPO material looks great, but it's blinding me. Is it cooler?
Chiefs checking from Community America gets you closer to the game. Is there any better way to get closer?
Hey man, go long.
Welcome back to St. Thomas Aquinas High School out here in Overland Park, Kansas. Nothing after a quarter. We jump into quarter number 2.
Chiefs
and it'll be a
checking from
3rd and
Community
16
America.
play for the Tigers of Blue Valley to open up the second quarter. I am Tim Spurl. He is Jeremy Crabtree on a beautiful Friday night. Right around 88 degrees right now in Overland Park.
It doesn't feel like that up here on top of the press box. It doesn't feel like it even on the down the field in pregame. The wind has cooled things off considerably. It's a beautiful, just gorgeous night for high school football.
Official taking his time getting over the ball here. And now he finally backs off. It says, let's play some ball. No score as we open up quarter number 2. And again, a 3rd and long. Kinney, pistol snap, short drop, pressure in his face, goes down the seam, connects to Green, 45-40, far sideline 30, foot race 20, and he's tripped up from behind. Big gain on a 3rd and long, and the Tigers are in the red zone.
Green means go for the Tigers. When it comes to 3rd down, he is the guy that they look to. We talked about it right before the end of the first quarter there, that he's the guy that they look to on 3rd down, the security blanket. And oh my gosh, was he wide open running that little skinny post route right behind the linebackers. And we talked about the inconsistencies by Walker Kinney. He put that one, Tim, right on the money. Great ball, great conversion, and actually great effort by Aquinas to stop the touchdown. But Cameron Green, big reception there, puts him in this red zone.
Absolute dime on a 3rd and long. And now he takes the shotgun snap, gives to Olson, running right side. Good cutback, and he dives across the 15-yard line. Call that 4 yards on 1st down.
Well, now that you're in the red zone, you got to put this one in the end zone. You've got the wind at your back. Aquinas likes to chew the clock up. You're not going to get a ton of scoring opportunities against this offense, so you've got to do everything you can to put this one in the end zone. Get 7 points here.
They spot it at the 15-yard line of St. Thomas Aquinas. Kinney checks the sideline again. Olson has been the only tailback used by Blue Valley so far. Again, Alex Tata out with an ankle injury. Pistol snap. They're going to give to Olson running behind right guard. He plunges across the 13-yard line, and that's going to set up a 3rd and about 5 play here for Blue Valley.
Tell you what, Zach Goodyear did a nice job. The Hawk linebacker, if he doesn't make that shoestring tackle, Olson's in the end zone because there was a huge lane there. Nice job by Zach Goodyear, the senior, to come up and make the shoestring tackle there.
Walker Kinney time here on a 3rd and 5. He connected on a big 3rd and 16 pass down the seam, and now here's the pistol snap. Rolling right, throwing for the end zone. It is caught just short of the end zone by Bergman at the 1-yard line. And it'll be 1st and goal for Blue Valley.
Okay, I'm sold. Walker Kinney. Great play right there.
Great play.
They brought a blitzer off the edge right there. He was flush to his right, was uncomfortable, but still managed to get his feet set, shoulder turn, and throw a perfect pass for the first down conversion.
And Bergman, that's his first catch of the ball game. And again, he has got Blue Valley at the 1-yard line, 1st and goal, 10:20 to play, second quarter. Kinney is going to turn, give it to Olsen, straight up the middle, pushing the pile forward. No signal yet. It is going to be just short of the end zone. Kinney thought he got in. The offensive line thought he got in, but the referees did not.
I think the ball might have even squared loose toward the end of the play because a Blue Valley tight end had the ball in the end zone, but they're going to mark him down just inches short of the end zone.
Olsen remains the deep back. No receivers in the formation. A tank package for Blue Valley. Kinney, pistol snap, gives to Olsen, jumps over the line. He is in for the touchdown. Tigers strike first on a 1-yard plunge by Eric Olsen, and it's 6-0 Blue Valley.
Yeah, this is when all that extra weight training pays off. Big on big, power on power, and right there, the offensive line just enough, and Eric Olsen was able to jump up over and get into the end zone. What a drive there by the Tigers. What a drive by Walker Kinney. Several key big 3rd down conversions to get them into the end zone there. I liked what I saw from him on that drive.
Converted 2 tough 3rd downs. One the 3rd and 16, and then down here in the red zone converted on that 3rd and 5 as he hit Bergman at the 1-yard line. Middleton on for the extra point. Blue Valley trying to make it 7-0. And again, they got hammered by Aquinas 47-20 last year. The extra point kick is up and through, and the Tigers lead 7-0 on your Sports Radio 810 high school football game of the week.
It's a good drive.
Boy, those were some
High
balls.
school sports fans,
I mean,
Trent
we
Green
saw
here.
last
If
year,
I want
he
the
does
latest
have
scores
all
and
the-
news, there's only one place
the
I go.
ability to do this, but
810varsity.com.
boy, oh
Live
boy.
scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee
some
Summit,
scores
Blue
when we come back
Springs, and
if you
Park
want.
Hill schools, Blue
got
Valleys,
'em.
Yep,
Olathe,
I got 'em.
Parkhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now. Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
My voice is in game week 1 mode for me.
Right. Who we got back? Number 1 and number 2.
Here we go.
57cash.com directly into the address bar. That's 57cash.com. 57cash.com.
Middleton has got this ball teed up at the 40 off the right hash. TJ Williams Bay, Jaden Russell back deep for St. Thomas Aquinas, but Middleton kicking with that strong wind. The run up and the boot is going to be a short kick. Give Williams Bay a chance from the left hash mark off the 5-yard line. Across the 15, dances around the 20, 25, 30 up the gut, and he's dragged down from behind near the 33. Good return by Williams Bay, and here comes St. Thomas Aquinas.
Yeah, let's get some scores from the 810 varsity scoreboard. Don't forget you can get scores from both sides of the state line here. We'll do the Missouri side here. Week 2 in the state of Missouri. Lee Summit North up 7-0 over St. Joe Central. This interesting score. Liberty up 3-0 over Park Hill. Park Hill has, was one of the darlings coming into this season. Fort Osage up 7-0 over Lee Summit West. That's a little bit of a surprise too. Obviously, we'll keep our eyes on that Rockhurst Blue Springs game. They kicked off just about 7 minutes ago.
So back comes Aquinas in that bone offensive set. They're going to toss out to Tank Young running the right side. He's in trouble, swims past one, and he's met by 3 white jerseys and driven back near the 34. Called a gain of a yard. That time they lined up Young as the wing and brought him around, but it didn't fool Blue Valley.
Well, and also the timing was off. Young had a chance to break it for a nice little first down gain, but the pitch was just a little bit behind him from Burboyne, and it just comes down to the timing of running this offense, how great that Will Swanson was running that for year after year. It's all about timing for this thing to go, and it was off for just a fraction of a second and allowed that Blue Valley defense to rally and only give up 1 yard on the
Young
Right.
lines back up as the deep back. They're going to open up, give it to him behind right guard, and he plunges across the 40, near the 41-yard line. That was a better run by Young, more north-south, and about 2 yards shy of that first down marker.
Let's see if this offensive line from the heralded Aquinas offensive line finds a way to take over here and open up some holes. It's been slim pickings here for these running backs. You've got to do a better job if you've got offensive linemen that are going to play in the Big 12 and guys that have high-level scholarship offers.
3rd and short for Aquinas. Raboyne sends a man in motion, gives to Young straight up the middle. He's got the first down as he's gang tackled just shy of the 44-yard line. Had to get to 43 for the first down. And St. Thomas Aquinas, they move the chains.
Yeah, still not a lot of push, though. Not a lot of push. The Blue Valley defensive line is doing a very good job. We haven't talked about this, but Sutton Williams, senior, is back after being injured for much of last season. He was a guy that was well on the recruiting radar, and a lot of people thought he might be one of the top 5 prospects in the state of Kansas, but with his injury, he fell off the charts. But good to see him back out there making some plays.
8 minutes to play, second quarter, 7-0 Blue Valley. They give to Young, running behind left guard this time, and they push the pile near midfield, gain of 6 yards. Again, just smash mouth football again by Aquinas, and now they're starting to get rolling on the ground.
I like that. Chris Mazingo, the big 6'4", 346-pounder at left guard. He did a nice job there. Finally got some fire off and pushed that pile 5 yards back.
And Mozingo, they didn't even know if he was going to play tonight. He was questionable throughout the week. Ends up getting the call, and he looks perfectly fine after that run. 7.5 to play till halftime. Again, 7-0 Tigers. Raboyne back in under center for Aquinas in movement before the snap, and it was the tight end Jack Gable. It was 2 yards downfield before the snap.
Can't do that. You know, Jack Gable having big shoes to fill here. Joseph Clune, I mean, remember how good Joseph Clune was last year? Actually, even the year before. He was who they went to on 3rd down with his play action threats, and boy, big shoes for Jack Gable to fill to be able to come in there and really is, you know, he played some last season with 1 reception, but jumps offside there. That's, just can't do that.
Clune actually had a touchdown in the Kansas-Missouri All-Star game over the summer. 2nd and 10 for Aquinas. Raboyne is going to open up, give to Cameron Jackson, left side, pushing behind his left tackle. He gets north-south, gets near the first down marker. Call it a gain of 9 as he's just short. But good run there by Cameron Jackson on his 2nd carry of the game.
Yeah, follow big Joe Mikalski. That's how you say his last name. Mikalski. I
close.
butcher that every single time, and I've talked to the kid about 15 times. I just butcher it, but did a nice job pulling from right tackle, opening up the big hole on that left side of the line.
Mikalski is going to be playing for the Oklahoma State Cowboys next season. 3rd and short. Raboyne back in under center. He's going to give to Young straight up the middle. Good cutback, has the first down, and he dives down near the 42-yard line of Blue Valley. Call it 5 more on the ground for Tank Young.
Yeah, we're even seeing some backup offensive linemen here on that play. Deontay Brown is in at one of the guard spots, and he had a pancake 5 yards down the field. I'm liking what I'm seeing. I mean, this offense goes as well as the quarterback and the offensive line goes, and the offensive line's doing a nice job on this drive, opening up some big holes.
6:20 to go till halftime. Aquinas on the move, down 7. Raboyne is going to open up, play fake, got time, throws over the middle, connects! Jack Gable at the 15, 10-5, and he walks into the end zone. Aquinas strikes back, and they cut that lead down to 1. 6:13 to play till halftime.
All right, well, you jump off sides, you better come up with a big play, and he came up with a big play. Jack Gable wide open. That's what happens when you run this offense. You have the play-action passing game become open because everybody's flowing to the football. The safeties, the corners, the linebackers all flowing to chase the run action, and he was wide open on the post right in the middle. There wasn't anybody within 10 yards of him on that play. Nice touchdown reception for Jack Gable. And how about Raboyne putting that ball right on the money? That some of those passes when you have a receiver that wide open, those can be tougher than you anticipate, but he put that right on the money.
Extra point kick up and through, and we are knotted up here in Overland Park, 7-7, as Jack Gable catches his first touchdown pass of the year. And we step aside on your Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week. us in the commercials?
Finding great candidates to hire can be like,
Oh.
well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with
all right.
ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
Okay.
ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you.
Yeah.
It's powerful technology.
Just wanted to make sure I'm not
qualified candidates
saying
to apply
anything
to your job.
in the
Oh,
commercial
yeah.
again.
That's a good point.
Companies might deliver a lot of hay. ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
Try ZipRecruiter now for free. By going
We'll do some
to
Kansas scores here.
ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Here we go.
Recruiter.com/free.
Back and forth we go in quarter number 2, 7-7 from St. Thomas Aquinas. Blue Valley set to get that football back. O'Leary has got it teed up at the 40. His run up and his kick is a line drive kick. Hits the Blue Valley up man at the 30, and the Tigers dive on it at the 35-yard line. They avert disaster, and now a flag flies late.
Wow. Some extracurricular activities?
So as we sort that out, we check some of the Kansas games on the first Friday night of high school football in Kansas.
Yeah, definitely. Let's run through the A10 varsity scoreboard. Blue Valley Southwest up over 7-0 over Lansing early on. Mill Valley at the 5A level is up 7-3 over Blue Valley West. A battle of the Olathe schools. Olathe East is up 20-7, or excuse me, Olathe North is up 20-7 over Olathe East. Free State, no surprise at all. They're rolling Olathe West 27-0. Tonganoxie's losing in a big rivalry game to Baser Linwood 21-0, and it's 7-7 to DeSoto and Leavenworth. We get one more in here. Turner, the Bears are up 8-6 over the Harmon Hawks.
So they actually called a personal foul against Aquinas on the hit there as Blue Valley was covering up that loose ball. And now the Tigers move up to the 49-yard line, just shy of midfield. 6:10 to go till halftime. Walker Kinney will open up in the pistol, and a flag flies here as soon as Kinney got set.
Substitution infraction?
Against Aquinas. How about that? So 5 more yards tacked on, so 20 yards in penalties with the clock stopped there against Aquinas. And now the Tigers are across midfield into Aquinas territory. They'll set up 1st and 5 now at the STA 46-yard line. Kinney, 2 to the left, 2 bunched to the right. Pistol snap. He's going to keep it running right side, ducks around 1, and he's met the line of scrimmage on the far sideline. No gain.
We talked about Walker Kinney having to be more consistent. So far, he's 5-9 for 88 yards. That's not doing too bad at all. A couple of those were dropped, including that drop by the sophomore receiver Dorian Stevens. So not a bad start at all from your senior quarterback who's getting his first real start as a varsity quarterback.
2nd and 5 now for the Tigers. 5:40 to go till halftime. 7-7 after Aquinas scores on a 42-yard pass on their previous drive. Kinney checks the sideline. Gets the play call in. He's got 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Olsen remains the tailback behind him in the pistol formation. Here's the snap. They're going to give to Olsen straight up the middle. Breaks a tackle. 40. Far sideline. 30. 25. 20. 15. And he's ridden out of bounds near the 10-yard line. Another big play for Eric Olsen on the ground.
Live by the blitz. Die by the blitz. Aquinas brought both outside linebackers, and once Eric Olsen was able to break through that initial surge, he had nobody there in the defensive backfield to stop them there. So great counter to the blitz. Great play call there by the Blue Valley offensive staff. It worked perfectly.
Blue Valley ran at the right side, and it is very noteworthy here. The starting defensive end, Matthew Roberts for Aquinas, he is injured and being tended to on the sideline. 48.5 stops last year, 5 sacks and a forced fumble. He has been injured ever since midway through the opening quarter. Kinney, pistol snap, gives to Olsen, breaks a tackle behind right guard, and he pushes forward across the 10-yard line. Call to pick up a 4.
Yeah, that's a big loss. Hopefully Roberts can get back out there. He's one of the better junior prospects in the Kansas City metro area with his size and his just ability to get to the football. That's a big loss, and you don't need to give this Blue Valley offense too much of an advantage because they're so good up front.
Kinney on a 2nd and 6, lines up in the shotgun formation. Olsen to his right. The lone receiver to the right side is Matt Kennedy. Cameron Green, he's in the slot to the left side. Shotgun snap. Kinney has time. Floats it for the end zone. Back corner is overshot, looking for Kennedy, and it'll be 3rd down.
They tried a little stop and go to the flag the backcourt of the end zone. That play works better if you have some yardage to go. I don't know if I like that play call at the 6 yard at the 10-yard line. I don't like that play call, especially when you only have 6 yards to go for the first down.
And now here comes a 3rd and 6. Kenny was an wizard on 3rd down on the last drive. Converted a 3rd and 16. Converted a tough 3rd and 7 in the red zone. And now he wants to find a little bit more of that magic late in the second quarter here. Facing the 3rd and 6 in the red zone again. Shotgun snap. Kenny has time, throws it for the end zone. He's got Green. And another touchdown strike for Walker Kenny. This time it's from 10 yards away, and the Tigers are back up 13-7.
That's too easy. Too easy. I was getting ready to say this is Cameron Green zone, and exactly what it is. Just a simple 3-step drop. He beats his defensive back to the inside, and that was just way, way too easy. Elias Carson was the man attempting to cover Green, and it didn't work at all. Nice, easy pitch and catch. That's like what they're doing 7-on-7 all summer long against defenses. That was just an impressive throw. Walker Kenny having himself a game.
Kenny threw 12 touchdowns a season ago, and that is his first of 2018. The extra point kick is up and through. We have a star in the making here in a Blue Valley uniform. Walker Kenny tearing up one of the best secondaries in the area. 14-7 Blue Valley on your Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone,
their best
or
receivers
mobile
are in the
device.
slot.
Watch the Lee
Well, they
Summit,
do that on
Blue
purpose,
Springs,
obviously.
and Park Hill
And it
schools,
works.
Blue Valleys, Olathe, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into
AA
Missouri
somewhere
and
and just be a player.
playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25
South Dakota
awards
State,
There you
and
go.
more.
Pitt State.
Check it out
Okay.
now. Kansas City's home for
Nebraska's
high
on
school
it.
sports,
Tell you what.
810varsity.com.
I don't know if they'll offer, but
Celebrate the expansion of our facilities at Charlotte Mission Parkway and I-35. To celebrate, we're marking down the finest selection of works leading
New home.
for city's favorites. Land Rover, Porsche, Maserati, and Alfa Romeo are all priced to go home with you today. You can see the construction from the highway, but you have to come see us to see the savings. Here we go. I-35 in Charlotte Mission Parkway or online at aristocratmotors.com. That's aristocratmotors.com.
here comes Williams Bay across the 20, dancing to the 25 on the left hash mark. And he's ridden down to 27 after the kickoff. And here comes that STA offense. They just scored on their last drive, but Blue Valley answered it with another touchdown of their own. And it's 14-7 Tigers as we welcome back the St. offense.
Yeah, the Tigers offense just really seemed to be clicking. The leaders so far, Walker Kenny 6 of 11 for 98 yards, and then that 10-yard touchdown strike. Eric Olsen 11 rushes for 93 yards and a touchdown on the ground. But how about Cameron Green? 3 receptions for 66 yards and a touchdown. I'm not a math major, but I know that's a pretty good little average right there.
Raboyne back in under center through a touchdown on the previous drive. He is going to open up by handing off to Tank Young right side. Big hole midfield, goodbye. Tank Young is going to take this one to the crib from 73 yards away. And Aquinas strikes back in the blink of an eye.
Nice job by the entire right side of the offensive line. That's nothing fancy. That's just a simple handoff off right guard. And Jaden Roberts just blew open a hole right there. And it doesn't. You don't have to give Tank Young too much room because he's got some wheels. And oh my gosh, he was gone.
Just a sliver.
Great
Is
answer.
all the sophomore fullback needed. 5'7", 166. He squeezed through a hole and was gone. There was no one within 10 yards of him when he reached the end zone. O'Leary on for the extra point kick. And the quickest score we have seen in a while. O'Leary's kick is good, 14-14 on your Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week. Boy, that was quick.
If you're a homeowner, you may not be experiencing backups right now, but undetected issues in your sewer lines can lead to major breaks in pipes and your wallet. For $99, we'll send out a Bob Hamilton camera inspector to look inside those pesky pipes, and if it backs up again, we'll open it up for free. Wow, how's that for peace of mind?
Call 888-4POD. Remember 913.
Hey
Hey Kansas City, Stony Floyd here with Victory Ford at the Legends. Summer's almost over, but the Red Hot Summer Sales event is in full effect with the all-new EcoSport for just $299 a month. Or how about Explorers with up to $8,000 off MSRP? Check out over 400 quality pre-owned vehicles with up to 75% off original MSRP. Come visit Victory Ford today at 435 in Parallel across from the Kansas Speedway or at victoryfordkc.com.
See view of the details.
14-14. It's getting fun from Aquinas. O'Leary has got it teed up, and a line drive kick is going to carry over Olsen's head through the back of the end zone. And here comes that Blue Valley offense. And after a scoreless opening quarter,
there we go.
We've seen 4 straight touchdowns.
So we might not get 47.
We spoke way too soon.
And how about Tank Young? 12 carries, 123 yards. I know a lot of it's on one carry, but he's shown some explosiveness.
Yeah.
I mean, he's called Tank for a reason because he's a tough runner, but we saw that even last year. I mean, he rushed for over 500 yards last year. He does have that explosive burst that just makes this Aquinas offense a little bit more than just a ground and pound game where they're able to have that big play threat, and right there he did that and took it to the house.
Kinney back to the pistol formation. Everybody scooted near the line defensively for Aquinas. The furthest man off the ball is 7 yards back. Short drop. Kinney is going to throw to the slant route right side. Bergman, a sliding grab, is made across the 25 late signal, but he did haul it in. Call that a gain of 5 on the slant.
Yeah, they got lucky right there because he was uncovered. Walker Kinney almost threw an incomplete pass. He throws that on the money. He might be able to go because they were having trouble getting lined up there.
Again, Aquinas, their secondary bunches within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. They're not respecting the speed of these Tiger receivers. Kinney is going to option right side. He's going to hold on to it and cut up near the 26 and then get driven backwards. Maybe a gain of a yard there for the quarterback, and it's 3rd and 4.
I don't know if I'd run option against this Aquinas defense. They probably have seen it a few thousand times here during fall camp. So I don't know if option is the type of play call that I would be running at this Aquinas defense because they're well used to it.
3 receivers left, 1 receiver to the right. It's developing into a shootout here in Overland Park. Kinney checks the sideline. There was movement, no flag. It was movement against Aquinas, but they get back. Inside 3 minutes to go till halftime. Kinney pistol snap. He's going to look left side, complete the slant route, and then Green got hit from behind and dropped the football. And it's going to be 4th down.
I called out Elias Carson on the play where he did not got beat on the post route for the touchdown, but right there he stepped up and made a heck of a tackle to lodge that ball away, and we're going to see Blue Valley, assuming they're going to punt the ball here at their own 25-yard line. We'll see the quarterback line up and shotgun, then punt it. Formation.
He dislodged that from Cameron Green, by the way.
That's not easy.
The most sure-handed receiver for Blue Valley couldn't absorb the contact. So Kinney is still out there in the shotgun formation, but again, he will punt out of this. He's going to take the snap, step right, and he's going to unload a bomb. Hits at the 35, takes another great roll, but it scoots out of bounds. It would have been inside the 10, but it scooted out of bounds near the 25. They spotted at the 24-yard line. And here come the Saints. They've had 2 big play touchdowns on their last 2 drives.
And their defense came up with a nice stop there, nice 3 and out there. That's a nice job by the Saints defense. And, this momentum is now wearing blue and gold.
2:46 to go in this first half. And, again, I said it in the pregame, this is a playoff atmosphere here in Week 1. It is packed again here at Aquinas.
Like that every week in the EKL. Come on, Tim. That's
could not have asked for a better
We're going to
opener.
have Blue Valley and Blue Valley North next week, and the game of the week next week. And I saw Blue Valley and Miege, Blue Valley North and Miege last night. That was a heck of a game. So it's like this every single week in the EKL.
Raboyne is going to option to the near side. He's going to flip it to Jackson across the 25, gets a block 30, stutter step 35, stiff arm to the 40, and he's ridden out of bounds right there. 20 yards for for Tank Young, excuse me.
Joe O'Leary has made a great punt earlier, but he just had a heck of a crackback block. Oh my gosh. He lit Shane Bergman up and sprung that play to the outside with a crackback block. Nice job by O'Leary.
2:39 to go till halftime. 14-14 from Aquinas. STA with it and driving. Raboyne is going to open up, play fake. Looking right side, deep ball for O'Leary. Caught at the 35, and he's dislodged from the football by Shane Bergman.
Got you on the play before, I'm going to get you back. That's exactly what it was, and that wasn't a pretty pass by Reboyne. Kind of left his receiver out there, O'Leary, to be able to get the hit like that.
Jarring hit by Bergman.
I don't think he was happy from getting cracked.
No.
Those are the worst type of blocks. The crackback block where you just do not see it coming, and he did get lit up the play before by O'Leary and got to able to return the favor a little bit.
And now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Bergman, a returning starter in that secondary. He's a big kid at 6'3", 175. 2 receivers in the formation this time. Reboyne is going to open up, give to Cameron Jackson behind left guard, cut back 50, 45. He spins around one, powers over one, and dragged down at the 41-yard line. Jackson, a bruising run.
Nice job there by the entire offensive line. This offensive line starting to do what we expected them to do early on, kind of take over and win those one-on-one battles up at the point of attack and opening up some nice holes on that line of scrimmage for Jackson, for Young. Big gains.
2:20 to go in the first half. They're going to toss it out to Tank Young, running left side. He is get thrown down from behind at the 48-yard line. Call it a loss of 7.
Mason Richmond, a backup, but not your typical backup. He's 6'4", 6'5", 240 pounds. He did play a little bit last season, 3 tackles for a loss. Add 1 to the resume here, the start of his junior season. This was so incredible about these 2 programs. They just had backups that are rolling off the bench at 6'5", 240 pounds. This doesn't happen in high school football, especially in the state of Kansas, to have size and depth like that. And Mason Richmond just looked like a heat-seeking missile on that play.
He threw him. They spotted actually at the 46. He threw him from the 46 to the 48. Hey, by the way, check out this week's Papa John's Fan Challenge. Now through Saturday, fans of Blue Valley can use online promo code 810Tigers, and Aquinas fans can use 810Saints at papajohns.com and receive 30% off their order. 10% of that goes back to the Booster Club. The team with the most online orders will receive an additional 10% Booster Club donations. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. And next week, Papa John's Fan Challenge will be between Harrisonville and Blue Valley Northwest. Sunday through next Saturday, Harrisonville fans can use promo code 810CATS, and Blue Valley Northwest fans can use promo code 810HUSKIES at papajohns.com. Same rules apply. 30% off their order. 10% goes to the Booster Club. And just a reminder, after this game, we're going to have the Bob Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and Electrical post-game show with the Czar Chad Raider.
Quick score here from the A10 varsity scoreboard. Blue Springs 0, Rockhurst 7. I knew that was going to be closer than what a lot of people thought. Just you go and play at Rockhurst. It's a tough environment to play.
Out of the timeout, 2nd and 15 for Aquinas. Reboyne is going to flip it. Coming near side, Williams Bay picks up a block, dances around 145, still cutting, and now he's dropped near the 44-yard line. A lot of dancing there for Williams Bay. He got another big block, but a minimal gain, and that's 3rd and long.
Yeah, that's just so tough when you're playing against a well-coached defense like Blue Valley. They held their outside fits and were able to not be beaten on the reverse.
3rd and 13. 2 receivers in the formation. Reboyne sends Jackson in motion. He gives to Young, running behind right guard, pushing the pile across the 40, climbs out to the 37-yard line, and that is a play Randy Dreiling calls with the intent of going for it on 4th down.
Totally. Very much so. Now it's 4th and, you don't want to say 4th and manageable, but it is 4th and manageable with the way that they've run the football here, and maybe dial up a play-action pass here, and with the way it worked the last time for the 42-yard touchdown. It's certainly much more manageable situation. 4th and 6 with this Aquinas offense and the explosive ability they have. That's nothing to really worry about.
It says 4th and 6 on the scoreboard. Really, it's 4th and a real long 6, maybe
it's
7.
It's a long 6. You're right. That's
and
it's 6 3/4.
And you got, a minute 32 here. So if you don't get it, you're giving the Tigers time. 3 timeouts left. And assuming even if you pick up 6 yards here and you're just a yard short, you're still giving it to them at their own 30-yard line. So they're going to have time if you're unable to get the first down here.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what they call. Do they dare let Reboyne throw it again? He's looked either really good or really bad. There's been no in-between with him so far. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see some sort of counter action with Tank Young or Cameron Jackson.
See what trick Randy Dreiling has in the bag here. And now they do change the scoreboard, actually, to 4th and 7. So here we go. Minute 32 to go till halftime. 14 all from Aquinas. STA has scored 2 straight touchdowns. This is their 3rd drive now, seeking just as many touchdowns. Raboyne takes the snap, fakes right. He's going to throw it, has time, steps up, and he wants to run. 35-30, he's got the first down, and he dives to the 25-yard line. 13 yards on 4th and 7, and STA moves the chains.
That was not a designed quarterback draw at all. Yeah, it was just straight pass, tried a little play action, and it just sucked up all the linebackers and defensive backs, went with the receivers, and there was nobody at all in the Blue Valley secondary to go after him.
1:24 to go till halftime. Raboyne on a 1st and 10 is going to option pitch right side to Young. Hits the sideline 20, outside 15, 10, 5, sideline, end zone. Tank Young, his 2nd rushing touchdown of the night, this time from 25 away, and the Saints go on top 20-14.
You cannot arm tackle a guy by the name of Tank. You just cannot do that. And that's exactly what Blue Valley tried to do there once he got to the outside. They thought, well, maybe get him down, just get a couple yard gain, but no. You got to go low. You got to be able to wrap him up, and they did not do that at all. And that goes for a nice big touchdown run, and certainly the momentum is wearing blue and gold again.
Young well over 100 yards now on the ground, and we are still in the first half. He scored 9 touchdowns on the ground a year ago. He's already got 2 on opening night. O'Leary's extra point kick is up and through. And for the first time in 2018, we can say it, St. Thomas Aquinas in front as we head for the break. Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week. STA ahead, 21-14.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com.
Cool.
Live scores,
Okay, my
features,
bad. I didn't hear
brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, Park Hill Schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City offers you 3 ways to drive your new or your next Mercedes-Benz. Select a new one or one of our great executive-driven loaner cars. But I want to let you know about the 3rd choice because August is the month for the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned event. When you buy a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz this month, you get finance rates as low as 2.9%, 2-year scheduled maintenance.
There we go.
And unlimited mileage warranty. We have so much to share. So go 1/2 mile east of State Line and 135th to Mercedes-Benz of Kansas City or go to mbofkc.com.
Here comes Eric Olson off the 2-yard line across the 20, 25, far sideline, 30, cut back 35, back out to the sideline, 40, dances around, 45, and he's drugged down from behind here, the 46-yard line. Eric Olson, a huge return, and now late flags pushing and shoving on the far side. And if this is against Blue Valley, they're going to be kicking themselves.
Yeah, because that was just a tremendous individual effort there by Olson. We'll see what the play, what the call is.
This is going to be momentum one way or the other. If it's against St. Thomas Aquinas, Blue Valley is going to be in Aquinas territory. And that's the initial signal. And it's probably going to be a personal foul. And there it is, a personal foul against Aquinas. And now Blue Valley is in Saints territory with 1 minute, 2 seconds to go in the first half.
And most importantly, all 3 timeouts. Let's look back at Tank Young on that drive there. You know, all those big rushes. He's now 16 carries, 166 yards, and 2 scores. And a lot of that came on that 73-yard run that he had. But boy, oh boy, that was not. It's not just been that. He's been consistent all night long. I give a lot of credit to him.
Blue Valley sets up from the St. Thomas Aquinas 39-yard line. They'd love to have points going into the break. Now down 21-14. And again, 1 minute 2 to go till halftime. But like you just said, Jeremy, all 3 timeouts for the Tigers at their disposal. They only got to go 39 yards. Kinney, shotgun snap. Looking left, throwing left for Cameron Green. He hangs on through the contact. Gain of 11 and a first down.
That's there all night long. All night long. They're bringing linebackers to try to get in Walker Kinney's face, and it's just vacated right behind it. And give Cameron Green and Walker Kinney just a ton of credit for finding that little soft spot. And they're going to man up on him, and you can't do that.
Tough catch made by Green to the 28-yard line. Kinney checking the sideline. Clock rolling. Got to go a little bit quicker inside 50 seconds. Kinney shotgun snap. He's going to hand off to Olsen, running the right side, and he runs into a trap. 3 blue jerseys around him, and now Alan Terrell, the head coach for Blue Valley, is going to have to burn his first time out with 41 seconds to go till half.
Yeah, I kind of see why they went that way, because if you looked at the formation, they did roll over an extra linebacker, safety toward Cameron Green's side, the trip side. So they were trying to take advantage of a numbers game, but the Aquinas defensive line just out-muscled the Blue Valley offensive line there on that play. I like the play call, though, because if your offensive line does their job and wins their one-on-one battles, he's able to get some nice yardage.
And I'm fine with the play call. I mean, some plays are going to blow up. You can't do anything about it. My thing is you got to have a hurry-up mode, because the offense is designed that the quarterback checks the sideline, gets the play call in, and in a situation like that, you start rolling under 50 seconds, you got to know what you're doing.
You would have been just utterly frustrated to watching Blue Valley North last night try to come back against Miege. They were down 2 touchdowns, and they went on a 6-minute drive and failed to convert the ball. You would think with the blue chip quarterback like Graham Mertz, you'd be able to call everything at the line of scrimmage. It did not happen, and I was sitting there pulling what little hair I have left out of my head, just like, you got to go. And another example right here. You only have such a limited amount of time here to try to get back before the end of the half, and just no sense of urgency on this drive so far.
Still got time, though. 41 seconds, 2nd and 12. Kinney, short drop. He's going to roll right. Wants to throw. Unloads a deep ball. Looking for the end zone. It is incomplete. And out 3rd and 12. He had a man out there, but good coverage on the far sideline.
Yeah,
it was Gordon Harris.
And I like that matchup. Gordon Harris has got some nice wheels, and just surprised that he didn't take better advantage of it.
And now here comes 3rd and 12. 35 seconds to go in the first half. Maybe 4-down territory for Blue Valley. And if you don't think your kicker can get it, I mean, why not here? You're already inside the 30-yard line. And Aquinas only has 1 timeout. You're not too worried about them getting all the way down the field. But again, they do have Tank Young. So we'll see what happens on a 3rd and 12. Kinney from the pistol. Gets the snap away. He dives on it back at the 43-yard line. Bad snap. And there go those plans out the window, as Blue Valley now is going to have to likely punt this football.
Just bad execution, bad snap. This drive just did not look. It was just so discombobulated from the beginning. Just did not look right at all.
10 seconds. Blue Valley may take a timeout to set up a heave here. Aquinas doesn't stop the clock. 5 seconds. 3 seconds. Terrell is going to let it. No, he's going to stop it at 1 second. They let the time go, and now the referees are saying, hold up. Aquinas is running for the sideline.
That's exactly what they're going to do.
Terrell waited till a second. We were watching him from across the way. He signaled timeout. Official blew it at 1 second. And now they got to get Aquinas back onto the field. They were halfway to the locker room.
No, you called it, Tim. If you're a guy with a strong arm like Walker Kinney, why not? Why not try to throw it? You got the wind at your back. Why not?
That's something I didn't think of. The wind. Again, it's been a strong wind throughout the first half. And again, you got Walker Kinney, who gets the football to the end zone easily here off the 42-yard line. He's probably throwing this around midfield. But you can't imagine he'll have a problem getting it to the end zone. But yeah, minimal risk here with a Hail Mary try. They're going to line up 2 to the left, 2 to the right. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. They go empty formation. Olsen is nearest to the quarterback on the left side. Kinney's going to have one heave here, down 21-14, drops the snap, picks it up, rolls left. He's going to have room to throw it, and now he's going to step up, throw it for the end zone. He may have overshot it. It is through the back of the end zone, incomplete, and that's halftime. 21-14, though. What a second quarter we had. 5 touchdowns in quarter number 2, and St. Thomas Aquinas, the number 3 ranked team in the city. According to A10Varsity.com, they take a 7-point lead over the 5th ranked team in the city, the Tigers of Blue Valley. We send it back to the studio, and Chad Rader on your Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week.
On
High school sports
15.
fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop,
15, my
phone,
bad.
or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
To disappear.
All I have to do is point?
All you have to do is point.
Well, let's start with that broken bird bath, that old swing set, and that nasty old yard furniture.
All you have to do is point. Just call us 90 minutes before you need us to be there.
And those broken tree limbs.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
And that pile of boxes.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey, does he want to talk to us all during that? Or are we done with the section?
Probably he'll talk to you like the end before they throw it back to you guys.
Right at the end. Okay. Thanks.
Yep, talk to you later.
Estimators and craftsmen will take the time to do it right and make sure you get the beautiful kitchen you've always wanted.
From Community America gets you closer to the game. Is there any better way to get closer?
Hey, man. Go long. Chiefs checking from Community America.
Don't forget to take Preps KC with you to the game. Download the Preps KC app in the Apple or Android markets and pick your favorite teams to follow, get live scores and stats, and much more. Preps KC app is the perfect companion when you're watching your favorite high school football teams live. Visit www.prepskc for more information.
Tune into Sports Radio 810 every weekday to hear Kansas City's favorite shows. The Border Patrol with Stephen St. John and Nate Buchanan. The Program with Soren Petro. And Between the Lines with Kevin Keatsman.
Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Kansas City's exclusive home for the National Football League, bowl season and the college football playoff, the Major League playoffs, and the World Series. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
The High School Football Game of the Week halftime show is brought to you by the Sports Medicine and Performance Center at the University of Kansas Health System and A&B Car Star.
Welcome here to the Sports Radio High School, 810 High School halftime show. Nathan Wilhelm back there laying down the tracks as we are going to check the scores out on the Missouri side. And, of course, the thriller that you are listening to right now on the Kansas side, St. Thomas Aquinas 21-14 at the half over Blue Valley. Across the state lines on the Missouri side. Lee Summit North traveling up to St. Joe, and they're playing St. Joe Central. 28-0. Lee Summit North is taking it to the Indians early on. Meanwhile, no scoring. Ray Peck and Blue Springs South out there at Blue Springs. Ray Peck, Blue Springs South, 0-0. Surprise in the Northland, Liberty is up 17-0 over Park Hill. Alex Grouse, 2 touchdown passes to Lowry in that game. 17-0 the Blue Jays leading Park Hill. Florida State is now 12-0 over Lee Summit West. Lee Summit 21, Belton 10. Liberty North looking to get back in the win column after a loss last week. 35-0 over Truman. They look to be on their way to getting into the win column for the Eagles. Platte County opened the season up at 1-0 after a blowout over Oak Park. Doing the same tonight, 32-0 over Park Hill South. Here's a dandy here in Northland. Staley, Kearney 7-7. Deadlock at Staley. Raytown and Oak Park are playing tonight. North Kansas City 20. William Christman 7. Smithville opens the season in the top 20 of the 810 varsity top 25. They opened the first week up with a big win over St. Joe Central, looking to do so again at Ruskin, and they are on their way to doing that. 14-0. The Warriors lead the Eagles. Green Valley 10. Grandview 8. Rockhurst hosting Blue Springs tonight in a big-time rivalry game, one of the biggest games in the state every time. Those two hook up. Hawkless are leading 7-0 at the half. St. Pius had a big loss last week in the opener against Odessa. They look to rebound and are doing so. 23-0, the Warriors lead at St. Michael in the first half. Harrisonville took a big loss last week against Kearney in a big battle of Class 4 powers. This week, State Powers hook up again in Maryville. Harrisonville travels to Maryville, and the two towns are leading 22-0, approaching halftime. Odessa 48-0 over Clinton. Excelsior Springs 35-0 over St. Joe Benton. Blair Oak 35-0 over Oak Grove. Pleasant Hill 17-12 over Savannah. Warrensburg 20, Marshall 6, Cameron 12, East UO. Deadlocked at 13 are Center and St. Joe Lafayette. Sumner is playing Plattsburgh, and Plattsburgh is leading 9-0. And Webb City 28, Joplin 14. That is it for the Missouri side of the scoreboard. We'll be back here in just a moment with the Kansas scores. So in just a moment here on the Sports Radio 810 halftime show here.
You're listening to High School Football on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Brought to you by the McCarthy Auto Group. With 7 convenient locations spanning Missouri and Kansas. Go to KCCars.com. And by A&B Car Star. If you've been in an accident, call 816-741-6966. A&B Car Star. Relax, we'll take it from here.
Why settle for ugly, high-maintenance landscape edging that doesn't work? The Sharper Edge is the solution you've been looking for. Simply put, the Sharper Edge is beautiful, custom-stamped concrete, trenched into the ground and poured on site in one continuous piece. With a stainless steel cable running through it, the Sharper Edge is permanent and will not heave, sink, or fall over like all other edging products. Add to that 48 color options, multiple style options, and a 10-year warranty. The Sharper Edge is mower-friendly and will actually keep the mulch in and the grass out year after year. Check out our website at GetSharperEdge.com and plan to visit our Martin City showroom to get started. While you're there, check out our huge selection of fountains and statuary, all available at guaranteed low prices. Gardeners, check out our new hydroponic gardening department, which offers organic nutrients, soils, and thousands of hard-to-find hydroponic and garden specialty items. Visit our website and give your landscape a makeover that will last for decades. GetSharperEdge.com, 816-941-EDGE. GetSharperEdge.com for the last edging you'll ever buy. That's GetSharperEdge.com.
Hi, I'm Bob Hamilton. Back to school means more showers, more laundry, and more gas for your car. Is your old, inefficient water heater up to the challenge? Better call Bob. We'll replace the beast with a new, energy-efficient water heater, and we'll throw in a gas card worth up to $300. You'll save energy and get free gas. Wow. How's that for peace of mind?
Bob Hamilton Plumbing, heating and bake. Call 888-4BLD. Remember 913.
This month, something new is taking off at Joe's Kansas City Barbecue. Introducing the Rocket Pig Sandwich, featuring pulled pork, tossed in a sweet hot barbecue glaze, bacon, pepper jack cheese, and barbecue mayo, topped off with fried jalapenos, all on a toasted bun. It's your favorite Kansas City barbecue with a kick. The new Rocket Pig Sandwich is now available at all 3 locations. The original at 47th and Mission, 119th and Strangline, and my home Joe's at 117th and Row.
Welcome back to the Sports Radio 810 halftime show, and just a reminder, check out this week's Papa John's Fan Challenge. Now through Saturday, fans of Blue Valley can use online promo code 810Tigers. And St. Thomas Aquinas fans can use 810 Sync at papajohns.com and receive 30% off their order. 10% goes back to the Booster Club. The team of the most online orders will receive an additional 10% Booster Club donation. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. And it's been a better game this week than last week as Blue Valley and St. Thomas Aquinas are here on the Sports Radio 810 Game of the Week. Aquinas leads 21-14 over Blue Valley, and we will check out some other scores from the Kansas side. St. James Academy in their EKL season opener, 41-0. The Thunder are rolling over Blue Valley Northwest. Also another EKL blowout, 31-0. Blue Valley Southwest leads Lansing at the break. Mill Valley, Blue Valley West in a close one here. 14-10, the Jaguars lead. Well, the Jaguars versus the Jaguars. Mill Valley's version of the Jaguars. lead Blue Valley West 14-10. And we're going to turn ourselves to an update from the Drake, 810 WHB's own Jason Justice for Gardner Edgerton, Shawnee Mission East halftime report.
Shawnee Mission East hosting Gardner Edgerton at South District Stadium this evening. It's their first year under head coach Justin Hoover. Lancers had trouble moving the ball in the first quarter, and the Blazers got off to an early lead on an 11-yard rushing touchdown. Lancers tied it with a penalty-filled drive at the end of the second quarter. Gardner Edgerton started the second quarter with a 17-yard touchdown pass to Luke Jennings. East added 2 field goals to make it 13-14 at the half. Once again, Gardner Edgerton leading Shawnee Mission East 14-13 at the half. I'm the Drake on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
And Gardner Edgerton has given Shawnee Mission East fits the last 2 years in the playoffs. This time they opened the regular season, and as you just heard, are leading Shawnee Mission East 14-13. Olathe North, Arlen Bruce, 3 touchdowns in that game already for the Eagles. Olathe North leads Olathe East 28-7 at Seaback. Down the road at ODAC, Olathe West opens up their first ever football season play against Free State, and a tough challenge to do that against, as the Firebirds are up 34-0 over Olathe West. Meanwhile, Shawnee Mission North, Shawnee Mission South, yes, are scoreless at the half, 0-0. Spacer Glen with 21-0 over rival Tonganoxie.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now. Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Scores will be back with more score updates, and go back to the guys here in just a moment right here on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
You're listening to high school football on Sports Radio 810 WHB, brought to you by the McCarthy Auto Group, with 7 convenient locations.
Most of the time they'll come out and reset the clock. So probably then just hand it off. Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
All right.
Chiefs checking from Community America gets you closer to the game. Is there any better way to get closer?
Hey, man. Go long. Chiefs checking from Community America.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now. Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
On the web at rbuckroofing.com.
When you want Chiefs, follow the leader. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Mahomes holding it. Looks to throw it long. Gunning it for Tyreek Hill on the near side. Tracks the ball. Caught it. Touchdown!
I'm extremely ready. I mean, going up against a great opponent, a division opponent, just get to go out there and play against the best. And that's what you want to do as a competitor, and I'm ready to get this season rolling.
Kansas City's hometown radio station. Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Welcome back here to the Sports Radio 810 High School Halftime Show. We're going to whip around some more scores and go back to the guys at St. Thomas Aquinas. At the half, still 28-0 Lee Summit North over San Joe Central. Liberty 17-0 over Park Hill. Porto State 12-0 over Louisiana West. Lee Summit 21, Belton 10, Liberty North 35-0. Platte County and Parkville South have traded scores since the last update. 38-7, Platte County leads Parkville South. Raytown leads Oak Park 7-0. North Kansas City 27, William Christian 7. Smithville has opened it up 35-0 over Ruskin. Green Valley 10, Grandview 8. Raytown South 13, Winnetonka 7. Rocker 7-0 still over Blue Springs. St. Pius enjoying a 23-0 lead over St. Michael. Of course, more Missouri scores at 810varsity.com. Going over to the Kansas side, St. James Academy 41-0 over Blue Valley North and West. Blue Valley Southwest 31-0 over Lansing. Mill Valley 14-10 over Blue Valley West. Gardner Edgerton 14-13 over San Mission East. 28-7. Olathe North leads Olathe East. Free State 34-0 over Olathe West. Shawnee Mission South is on the board 7-0.
No, you're good.
Over Shawnee Mission North. Base Leonard has punched in another one, 28-0 over Tonganoxie. DeSoto 21-7 over Leavenworth. Turner 8-6 over Harmon. And other scores you can always check out on 810varsity.com for the rest of the Kansas side, including Paola 28-0 over Bonner Springs. Baldwin 14-0 over Ottawa. But of course, St. Thomas Aquinas leads 28-14 in what has been a great first half, and calling that first half has been Tim Spurl and Jeremy Crabtree right here on 810 WHB, and definitely a lot of firepower in this game, a lot of breakaways, and everything you've ever asked for in a half so far to lead off the Kansas side, right, guys?
Yeah, we can't complain too much. It was an electric second quarter. I think is the best way to describe it. We saw 5 straight touchdown drives in that second quarter. Fun stuff, and Tank Young starting to get rolling. And we saw both these offenses, I think, struggle in the first quarter. You know, early season jitters, big game. And we got a few thousand people out here, so obviously it's an electric atmosphere. But then that second quarter, they got into it. These offenses got comfortable, and we should even have an even more fun second half.
Yeah, definitely. I fully expect plenty more points to be scored, and both offenses kind of clicked and found some grooves. You know, Blue Valley got going with Walker Kinney. He's now 8 of 16 for 114 yards and 1 touchdown. Eric Olson's almost at 100 yards. He's on 12 carries and 91 yards. And Cameron Green, I'm the leader of the Cameron Green fan club because 4 receptions, 77 yards, 1 touchdown. He is just, no one can cover him. And then on the flip side, Tate Raboyne, only 1 completion, but it was a 42-yard touchdown reception to Jack Gable. Tyron Tank Young, 16 carries, 166 yards, and 2 touchdowns, buoyed by that big 70-plus yard touchdown run. So both offenses really kind of kicked it into gear. Both offensive lines started to find their way, and it's going to be a battle of attrition. It's going to maybe be who has the ball last, because I think both offenses are going to continue to click here in the second half.
You've seen the advantages, like if you had to say this team might have a slight advantage in the second half or the first. I know you guys really thought the Aquinas line was starting to have it away a little bit. Is that a factor? Do you think the Alex Cotta injury will be a factor? What are some things we can look for in the second half?
Oh yeah, I think you kind of nailed it right on the head there to address the first one. Obviously, in the second half, moving forward, that offensive line for Aquinas, that's a big advantage. They got their footing in that second quarter, and like Jeremy said, I mean, it showed in the stats. 160 yards for Tank Young, most of that coming in that second quarter. The offense is rolling out. That offensive line's in a group. So obviously, they have a big advantage in the second half. As far as Alex Tata, I don't think they're missing him too much on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, though, I think that's where they're lacking.
Yeah, no question. On the defensive side of the ball, he is the glue to that defense with the way that he is always there at linebacker, and you got to have good linebacker play if you're going to stop the flex bone.
Yeah, and I know you guys have talked about the running backs there in the line as well. And how's the what you got some other intangibles in this game you might be looking for or that you have seen so far from either side? Have you had a report on Matthew Roberts? I know he was out early in that game. What's been the status there?
Well, I mean, he's not, so I assume that's a good sign. We'll pressure on Walker Kinney and how Blue Valley's offensive line is able to manage that, and if he can stay consistent like he has, or if he makes some mistakes like he tended to do last season. So that to me is another kind of curiosity of this second half, is what this Aquinas defense dials up, because they've been burned by the blitz multiple times.
But, hey, we are actually ready to get things going in the third quarter. So, Chad, we appreciate you. Again, giving us all those scores from around the area on a busy Friday night. Of course, both sides in action now. It's week 1 in Kansas, week 2 in Missouri, so a lot of action. But all these second halves are getting ready to kick off, and ours is teed up and ready to go. Blue Valley will kick off. Aquinas will go left to right in this third quarter. And back deep, Williams Bay along with Jaden Russell. This is a high, short kick to the far sideline. It's going to hit at the 29 and scoot out of bounds. So Blue Valley trying to catch Aquinas snapping. Ends up shooting themselves in the foot.
I don't know if that was on purpose, Tim, because the kicking tee went almost as far as the ball did there. So I don't anticipate that was intentional. Keep in mind, Tata is also a special teams guy for them. He does a lot of their PATs and extra points and kickoffs. So you're playing with the second team kicker, and right there you give up just absolutely great field position right out of the gate for the Saints.
Yeah, obviously a do-it-all guy, and we talked about it in pregame. Definitely 143 tackles last year for Alex Tata, so definitely hurting at that middle linebacker position without him. So we start quarter number 3 with the Saints taking over at their own 35 after the kick goes out of bounds. Raboyne back to work under center. He's going to open up, give to Young behind left guard, pushes the pile across the 38, grinding near the 39. Call that a gain of about 3.5. Second down.
Yeah, we're going to see this battle right out of the gate. Looks like Aquinas is going to try to reestablish their offensive line dominance, just running simple off-tackle play off of left guard of Chris Mazingo. And nice push there by the offensive line from Aquinas.
Again, 3 touchdown drives in the second quarter for Aquinas. Tank Young had 2 touchdown runs in that second quarter. He's behind Raboyne in the backfield. Raboyne is going to give it to him. Now he's going to option it, right side to catch him. He's got room across the 40 near sideline 35, and he's ridden down across the 30 near the 25-yard line. First carry of the ball game for Ketchum.
Nice carry, nice job, nice read on the option there by Raboyne. Did a nice job getting it outside to Ketchum, and Ketchum only had 1 rush last year, but was for 24 yards. So you do see he does have some big play explosiveness right there, and that was a nice, simple option play, and there was nobody from the Blue Valley linebacker level out there trying to make the tackle.
And again, the absence of Tata felt right there. 11-17 to go third quarter, opening drive of the third quarter. Raboyne is going to option near far side to Cameron Jackson, and he is going to get popped in the open field. Great tackle, Eric Olson coming up to make the stop.
Mr. Do-It-All. Doing a nice job from his outside linebacker spot, safety spot, whatever you want to call him. He does kind of a little bit of everywhere on that defense. He came up and made a nice open field tackle. Had to shed a blocker off of him to make the tackle. Kept outside leverage. They call it fits, and on the defensive coaches call it fits. And he did a tremendous job of keeping his fit right there and blowing out that play for a 3-yard loss.
He's been rolled up on the strong side all night. He made a great play there. 2nd and 13. Raboyne is going to play fake. Wants to throw. He's going to throw it for the end zone. It is underthrown and incomplete. And he had a man. But again, he underthrows it. Now 3rd and long.
Underthrows it. Throws into a pretty stiff wind coming out of the south right in his face. And maybe he has that wind at his back. It goes into the end zone and is caught. But the play action was there. It was there. You run this ball so effectively, you're going to have play action opportunities to your receivers and to your tight ends, and that is exactly what that was. And he was running wide open. The linebacker tried desperately to get back to the ball. Fortunately for the Tigers, it was underthrown.
Mikic was the intended target for Aquinas, and now he's off, and here's a 3rd and long. Raboyne is going to open up right side. He's going to pitch it to Tyron Young. Spins around 125, lowers his shoulder, pushes out to the 23. Gain of about 6 yards on the ground. He's going to set up a 4th at about 7 play.
Yeah, 4th and 7's go for it territory. Up a 7. Not going to kick the field goal. We saw all season long, last season, Aquinas just doesn't kick the ball at all. This is go for it. Big play for this Blue Valley defense. Can they get off the field without giving up some points?
Aquinas was rolling that second quarter, scored 3 straight touchdowns to end the first half. This would be a big stop for the Blue Valley defense coming out of the locker room. Raboyne climbs in under center. Sends Jackson in motion to the left side. Movement before the snap. And the Tigers jumped over. And now 4th and 7 is going to get a whole lot easier for Aquinas.
Yeah, and that's, it's not, they didn't do anything different. They didn't have any kind of fancy motion. They've seen that motion all night long, just trying to anticipate the play. And it didn't work. And now suddenly it's 4th and 3, a long 3, but still a much, much easier way to navigate for this Saints offensive.
Yeah, definitely a 4th and 3. If anything, it was a really long 2. But they got to get across the 20. Ball just shy of the 23-yard line. Raboyne climbs back in under center. Excuse me, got to get to the 15-yard line. Raboyne, short drop, is going to throw left side. Complete, making a man miss. Dropping the football at the 10. Picked up by the Tigers. Far sideline. 30, 35, 40. Midfield, late flag. 40-yard line, dancing around and dragged down near the 35-yard line. Hopping up, I believe that was Olsen on the return. But there is a flag back at the 33. Probably in the area of a block in the back, but a huge turnover.
Yeah, huge turnover. Theo Grable was the receiver. He was open. Did a nice job. Raboyne threw it right on the money. Kind of shocking everybody. 4th and 3. You throw the ball to your receiver who hasn't had a catch yet this season. He makes a play, then suddenly takes to try to get that extra effort, loses the ball, stripped by this Blue Valley defense, and boy, they were off to the races. Eric Olsen's always near the football, and he manages to come up with the big fumble recovery. Obviously, he's going to be brought back, lose a lot of that field position, but still what a great, big play by this Tiger defense.
And it is a block in the back on the return, but still Tiger football. That was the first catch of the ball game by Grable, and this is a guy that is on some radars. He's a sophomore. He's got offers from Nevada and Arizona State already. That was his first varsity catch, and he fumbles. So, I mean, obviously a bright future ahead of this kid, but his first varsity catch, he gives it back to the Tigers.
You tried. You can't fault a kid for trying to get that extra effort, but what you can do is admire what this Blue Valley defense, so well coached. They knew they had him stood up, and you see that all the time in college football and in the NFL where they stand a guy up and the next guy comes along and strips the ball, and that is exactly what happened there. And, boy, Eric Olsen, he can play for me with the way that he just was off to the races. Too bad it's going to get called way back because it was very obvious. They knocked one of the offensive linemen down from Aquinas. 2 guys clobbered him from the back. But here you go.
So now
take the ball out and give it back to your offense.
Tigers in business at their own 23 after the fumble recovery and then the block in the back on the return. But still, you don't mind that too much if you're Alan Terrell, the head coach for the Tigers. Your team has got the ball back. Down 7, 21-14, 9:32. First drive of the third quarter for the Tigers. Kinney from the pistol is going to throw a hitch right side, complete it, dancing across the 30, dragged down near the 35. First catch of the ball game for Dorian Stevens and a first down.
I like the play call because everybody's rolled up over, trying to the trip side, to the Cameron Green side more or less, and you had a one-on-one battle. That's easy pitch and catch because he's 5 yards. The defensive back's 5 yards off the receiver, and that's a nice job. Makes up for the drop earlier when Dorian Stevens dropped that slant pass. Nice first down play call.
That's the first varsity catch for Stevens. Again, another sophomore receiver starting tonight. Kinney lines up in the shotgun. Aquinas showing pressure. Kinney checks the sideline for the play call.
Maybe showed it a little bit too soon, giving the Tigers a chance to call an audible.
They've got the strong safety Carson rolled up near the line. Here's the shotgun snap. Pressure coming from the back. Kinney is dropped back at the 25. Meisenheimer got there, and a 10-yard loss on first down.
Boy, that's on Walker Kinney. He knew the blitz was coming. He rolled out. Throw the ball to your mom in the stands. Live to play for another down. That's all on him right there. Not on his offensive line because they brought one more guy that they could block. He rolled out. He knew it was coming. Got to get rid of the football.
2nd and 20. Off the Tiger 25 now for Blue Valley, and Walker Kinney has got to navigate his way around 20 yards in order to keep the drive alive. Aquinas with some late defensive substitutions. 8:20 to go third quarter. 2 left, 2 right for Kinney. Shotgun snap, almost let it get away. Steps up in the pocket. Pressure coming, and he's dropped again near the line of scrimmage. Kinney at least was able to save that play and get back to the line, but it's going to be 3rd and 20.
Well, the one before was on him. That wasn't on him. You got to do a better job if you're center Evan Taylor. You got to get the shotgun snap. The most fundamental thing, if you're going to play out of the shotgun, you have to get the snap back to the quarterback. It's all about timing, snap, and Kinney was lucky he even got the snap. He had to do a little spin, and by the time he was able to get back toward the line of scrimmage, multiple defenders coming his way.
3rd and 20. Keep an eye out for Cameron Green. He's in the slot to the right side. He has a touchdown grab already tonight. He has been the big play threat through the air for Walker Kinney. Pistol snap, short drop. He's going to throw it down the seam, and it's incomplete, intended for Stevens. And if he puts that on the money, Stevens has got a lot of room.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Tim, because boy, oh boy, he's going to look at that on film tomorrow or this weekend and realize that was wide open. Aquinas brought another blitz from the linebacker level, and there was nobody there. Stevens had a nice catch earlier on this drive. Get it to him, and he makes another catch.
It's a clever route combination. Stevens ran a slant off of a seam from the slot receiver. He was wide open underneath. 4th and 20. Punt unit out there. Middleton with a good boot. It is going to hit at the Aquinas 39, take a Blue Valley roll inside the 30 and down at the 28 of St. Thomas Aquinas. A good punt, and Middleton is flipped to the field position. There is a Tiger down at the 15-yard line. So we'll
might have been the punter.
Try to find out who that is. 7:19 to go third quarter. And here comes St. Thomas Aquinas again after the first turnover of the ball game for the Saints.
Yeah, but they were moving the ball very effectively on the ground. Tate Raboyne actually put a really nice pass out to his receiver on 4th down. Go back to what worked for you. Keep running that football with Tank Young and Cameron Jackson. Keep it up, keep it up, keep it up.
Ball sits at the 28. The injured Tiger is able to hop up under his own power and walk over to the sideline. Still trying to get a number for you. In the meantime, Saints back in business. A long drive last time, again, ended on a fumble. On a what would have been a 4th down conversion to Theo Grable. But again, dropped the ball, trying to keep the play alive. So 1st and 10 for STA. Raboyne climbs in under center. Young is his deep back. He is going to open up and give to Young running behind his left tackle, and they push the pile across the 32 near the 33. Call it 5 yards.
Yeah, that's impressive. That's just simple. The simplicity, but also the beauty of just a simple handoff off tackle when it goes for 5 or 6 yards consistently is a thing of beauty. I like the old school stuff. I like the wishbone. I like the flex bone. It's beautiful when it's run right.
Williams Bay out there, split wide to the left. Jack Gable is to the right. Raboyne is going to toss to Young, looking for a cutback lane. He's got it, 35-40, spins around one, drags a man to the 43-yard line, and he was just a thread away on his jersey from breaking that for him a touchdown.
Yeah, thank you, Eric Olson, if you're Blue Valley, because if he does not grab onto the jersey and hold on to it with all of his might, that's another touchdown run right there. Nice little cutback. Again, the simplicity and the beauty of a little toss off right tackle.
43-yard line of the Saints. STA on the move again. 6:24 to go third quarter, up 7, 21-14. They're going to give to Young. No, they're going to fake to Young. Pitch it right side. Catch him. Hitting the sideline at the 45, and he took a lick. Guess who? Running sideline to sideline. Caden McCumber delivering a knock.
Yeah, I remember Colton McCumber a few years back, the quarterback. That's his younger brother, and boy, oh boy, that's a nice little stick right there, an open field. Because he doesn't make that tackle, he gets the edge, and maybe is still running.
You saw the 3, and you immediately thought Olsen.
Eric. Oh, I did too. I did too.
But no, McCumber, a reserve safety, came up and laid some wood. 2nd and 9. Raboyne sends Jackson in motion. Play fake. Wants to throw. Turns back to his right. In trouble. Steps up. Throws a deep ball down the middle. It is incomplete. He was looking for Gable again, and it was just out of the reach, and now there's a flag near midfield.
It's usually in the holding territory. That's what happens. Sometimes you run these play-action passes. Yeah.
Yeah, you called it. There's a hold.
I like the line judge. He get motion for the holding and then did a hug motion. So it must have been that obvious.
That was a heck of a hold.
That was awesome. But I like, you know what? Grable ran a nice route right there because he was held up by McCumber at the line of scrimmage, and he got down the field. I can see with why some schools like him early on. He's long, he's lean, and he does have some nice speed, really nice breaks out of the line, off the line right there.
He's got good size, 6 foot, 193. He can put some meat on his frame, but Yeah, he definitely runs good routes, and he does have the long touchdown grab from earlier in the second quarter, a 42-yarder. 2nd and 17. It was a spot foul, so they move him back technically 8 yards on the hold. 6:08 to play third quarter. Raboyne is going to hand off Jackson, running behind his left guard. Minimal gain there as he pushes the pile to the 39-yard line. Call it a gain of about 3. And here comes third and about 14 yards. They got to get to the Blue Valley 47.
And if you're Blue Valley, this is where you want Aquinas to be. They're not known for their passing, so you want them to be in these third and long situations. We haven't had too many of them.
We saw a scoreless first quarter. We saw 35 points in the second quarter, and now 5:35 to play in the third quarter. We've seen a couple of zeros on the board. Now a third and long for Raboyne and company. Raboyne is going to play fake, wants to throw. He's got one completion tonight, stepping up in the pocket, in trouble. Let's go of a duck in the middle of a field. It's picked off at the 45-yard line and getting down near the 49-yard line. The second turnover in a row for St. Thomas Aquinas in the first pick of the year.
Brendan Barber did a nice job, and that's ill-advised. Ill-advised by Raboyne. We've been talking about how he's made some good decisions tonight, but that was not a good decision. Stepped up, tried to force it. The ball kind of just fluttered out of his hands because of the pressure. And nice stop by this Blue Valley Tiger defense. And, again, great field position. Got to take advantage of it, though. They've not managed to take advantage of many of their great field position situations. Got to do it here this time.
For Brendan Barber, that was like fielding a punt in the middle of the field. He's got Blue Valley at midfield. 5:18 to play third quarter. They're going to give to Olson running the right side. He gets run down from behind. No gain back to the line of scrimmage. It was Ben Turla, the weak side defensive end, running him down.
Just a lot of pressure there from this defensive line. And, we talked about Javier Dare earlier. He did a nice job there. I tweeted at halftime that Javier Dare could come play for me. He's impressed me a lot better than some of the offers that he's got. And he's already committed to North Dakota State, but he's better than that, in my opinion. And, of course, North Dakota State's a really good program, but he's playing his butt off tonight. Keep doing things like that. You might have some bigger schools come knocking on your door.
2nd and 10. Short drop for Kinney. He's going to unload a corner route. It is caught and dropped across the 38. And is it Green?
Yes, and I think he's
rolling
hurt.
on the ground.
I think he
good.
landed on his shoulder. I think when he landed on his shoulder, that's when the ball came loose. You do not see Cameron Green lose the football like that unless something bad has happened, and unfortunately, he's laying sprawled right on the ground. Looked like he came down on his shoulder.
And his buddy Kenny was the first one over there, and it looked like the shoulder, but the thing I saw was the first thing he did was reach for his knee.
Let's hope it's neither.
4:32 to play third quarter, and the Tigers on the far sideline maybe holding their collective breath.
Hopefully cramps. I mean, but you just don't see him drop a football like that. He went up high. He did exactly what you want a receiver to do. He went up and high-pointed the football and came down with it. And, there he is. He's leaning back up now. That's good. That's great.
Helping him to his feet.
Cramps, looks like, maybe.
Oh, you hope so. And he's limping, so maybe that's a good sign. He was frustrated, obviously, hitting the ground, but gosh, you hold your breath for a kid like that that's played for 3 years here for Blue Valley. Their leading receiver a year ago was having a big night already, had a touchdown.
That's a good ball, too, by Walker Kinney. Threw that ball perfectly right where it needed to be, where his guy did it. And he was going up against, one of the best defensive backs in the state of Kansas, Jaden Russell, one-on-one. And nice job by Cameron Green to go up and almost come down with that. Unfortunately, it wasn't the defensive play. It was when he came down to the ground that jarred the ball free.
And it is a good sign for Tiger fans to see able to walk off under his own power. A considerable limp, but still walking is better than nothing. So we'll keep an eye on that. Matthew Roberts, by the way, the injured Saint, is out of his pads. He's done for the night. Worth mentioning. It doesn't look too serious. He's got ice on the ankle, but his night is over. 3rd and 10 now for Blue Valley after the drop by Cameron Green. 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Shotgun snap for Kinney. He's going to roll to the left. Pressure in his face. Evades one. Steps up. Deep ball down the sideline. He overshot it by a mile, and it's 4th and 10.
And he's holding. He's holding his right leg now. He's got cramps too. It's the first game of the season. Everybody has to worry about being hydrated properly. Walker Kenny's limping off the field too with cramps here. He's holding his left calf.
And yeah, that's a more definitive.
That's for sure a cramp.
Yeah.
We've all had those.
We can diagnose a couple injuries. I think that one we can safely diagnose.
Definitely. But you see the arm strength from Walker Kenny, though. Flushed and rolling to the left, not his natural side, and is able to still heave the ball way down the field.
By the way, just a reminder that the Sports Radio 810's high school football coverage is brought to you by the Sports Medicine Performance Center at the University of Kansas Health System and A&B CarStar. Also, this week, Papa John's Fan Challenge. Now through Saturday, fans of Blue Valley can use online promo code 810Tigers. Aquinas fans can use 810Saints at papajohns.com. You guys receive 30% off your order. 10% of that goes to the booster club of each team. The team with the most online orders will receive an additional 10% booster club donations. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's. 4:25 to go in the third quarter here. 4th and 10 coming up for Blue Valley after the interception. They're not able to move the ball at all.
Yeah, have to call it burn a timeout after all that.
That hurts. After they walk Walker Kenny off the field, they're forced to use a timeout, and so that's one you would have liked to keep in the bag.
Well, yeah, especially with the way that we saw them manage the clock in that at the end of the first half. No question about that at all.
Speaking of that Papa John's promo next week, by the way, Papa John's Fan Challenge will be Harrisonville, Blue Valley Northwest starting Sunday through next Saturday. Harrisonville fans can use promo code 810CATS. Blue Valley Northwest fans use promo code 810Huskies at papajohns.com. Receive 30% off your order, 10% going back to each booster club. Team with the most receives an additional 10% booster club donation only at papajohns.com.
All right, let's get some scores from the A10 varsity scoreboard real quick. Maybe the surprise of the night so far. Fort Osage 15-0 over Lee Summit West. Lee Summit West had a great win last week and not looking so good so far. Rockhurst, this is another big surprise, 17-0 over Blue Springs.
Really?
I talked about that yesterday with Sarim Petro, that the pressure was on this Hawklet team to respond, and the people were starting to whisper as Rockhurst, as it passed, as Tony Severino lost that magic touch, but up 17-0. You have to like how they've responded, and I'm sure he worked those kids diligently this week to make sure that they were prepared, and that would be a statement victory for the Hawklets.
Matt Kennedy back to punt. Regular punt formation out there for Blue Valley. 4:25 again to go, third quarter. Good snap, high, short punt. This one will hit at the 30. Take a mini Blue Valley hop across the 25 and roll out of bounds near the 23-yard line. Here come the Saints. And for where they were booting that football, you would have hoped they could have pinned it inside the 20-yard line. But here come the Saints. Can't complain from the 23-yard line after giving it away last drive.
I tell you what, you have to like what you've seen so far in the second half from both defenses, but especially the Aquinas defense. They've been kind of put behind the 8-ball multiple times here, 3 times in a row, with field position not at their advantage, and they've held tight. And we've seen the halftime adjustments, and they both teams have worked really well. But I like what I've seen from this Aquinas defense just a little bit more.
4:14 to go, third quarter. 21-14. It's been a scoreless third quarter from Overland Park. Raboyne climbs in under center. Sends a man in motion. He is going to give to Young, running behind right guard. Gets spun around and dropped. Near the 20. Kept fighting. And finally dropped near the 30-yard line. It looked like he was dead to rights at the 27 and got a second and third effort out to the 30. So call it a gain of 7 on first down.
7 yards when it should have been maybe a 1 or 2 yard gain. I mean, the famous guy in Kansas City with the nickname in Tank, do you know who that is?
Tell me.
Darren Sproles. So he was small in stature also, so I'm sure the Tank is in reference to Darren Sproles, and he ran a lot like Darren Sproles on that play.
Second and short after the 8-yard carry. They're going to give to Young straight up the middle. This time he's met at the line, and he used his momentum to pick up a yard. It's going to be third and short. We pause 10 seconds for station identification.
Kansas City's favorite sports station for 20 years and counting. Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas City.
So it's going to be 3rd and 1. Really 3rd and, let's call it 6 inches here.
Yeah.
Good push by Young after getting met at the line of scrimmage. And you imagine that's going to be the play call again. Young has shown the speed, but has also shown the power, especially on the last 2 carries. Raboyne, hard count. He's going to give it to Young, running behind right guard. This time he's pushed back. They're going to be short on 3rd and inches, and here comes 4th down for STA.
Nice job. Nice push by the entire left side of that defensive line.
Oh, wow, they gave it to him.
No, wow.
You're kidding me. They say the initial surge by Young was enough. I mean, it was inches, but I thought he went straight backwards.
Boy, I didn't see that one, Tim. I didn't see that one. Obviously we're up here, not right down there, but that sure looked like that the surge by that Blue Valley defensive line forced them back. Needing to get forward momentum, but it was short.
Well, they give it to him, yeah. So 1st down to the 34. Raboyne, play fake's going to open up. Pressure coming, and he's dropped back at the 27-yard line. First sack of the ball game for this Blue Valley defensive line.
Cole Ross actually also came through from the linebacker spot, backup linebacker. Guys having to step up in Tada's absence. He came through on the blitz untouched and got a sack there. 2 defensive linemen right there also, but that's what happens. Sometimes you run the play action pass. It's either boom or bust, and that went bust big time.
2nd and 16, and these are the situations that Aquinas has struggled in all night. When they get behind the 8 ball, the offense has been flustered. 2nd and real long, 16, back from their own 28-yard line. Raboyne is going to open up, give to Young, running straight up the middle, breaks a tackle, stiff arm to the 35, on his feet, 40, midfield, Young, 45, 40, and he's dragged down near the 38-yard line again. Tyron Tank Young carrying the load for Aquinas.
2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th effort there to able to do everything to get extra yardage. And tell you what, there's multiple Blue Valley players that are walking off the field. One's laying on the ground. Sutton Williams is going off the field. It looks like they're having some major cramp issues, and that's not good. That's not good. It also shows you the powerful strength that this offensive line's doing, but that was all Tank Young right there. Boy, oh boy, that is just the type of effort that you love to see out of your running back, leading by example, putting the team on his back and carrying them down the field.
141, and we got to stop for the injury for Blue Valley. I believe it's Harrison Nabidi down, the defensive tackle for Blue Valley. And another big gashing run by Young, and that's got to be a little bit of a momentum buster for Blue Valley. You get the sack, get Aquinas behind the 8 ball here on the ropes, a 2nd and real long. You're starting to look good. You've been playing good all 2nd quarter, and then Young breaks your back with a big run like that. And now Aquinas is set up back in Blue Valley territory. And so they get the injured Tiger off. And now that Blue Valley defense has got to regroup and do it fast.
They lost 2 guys there on that play. And testing their depth big time.
Yeah, you can imagine that Randy Dreiling is going to give the green light again to his running game. Tank Young off the field here.
Yeah, they don't even have enough players on the field for Blue Valley.
Running a defensive end on late. The deep back now for Aquinas is Charlie McCormick. Raboyne is going to spend Jackson in motion. He's going to toss it to him, running left side, try to hit the edge of the 35, 30, 25, cut back 20, and he's dragged down at the 18-yard line. Another big run for Cameron Jackson.
It's pretty simple. Pretty simple. It works, it works.
Absolutely. Aquinas now has got Blue Valley on the ropes near the end of the 3rd quarter. 1:15 to play in quarter number 3. Still holding on to that 7-point lead at 21-14. And Tank Young getting a much-needed breather right now over on the sideline. He's got his helmet off, just trying to catch his breath. He has been a workhorse tonight as he's over 200 yards rushing. Inside the 20. 1st and 10 for STA. Ball spotted at the 19-yard line. McCormick remains the deep back. Jackson is the wing to the right side. Raboyne is going to give to McCormick, and he's submarined back at the 20-yard line, loss of a yard.
Well, Blue Valley's got to come up with a defensive stop right here. Can't give up a touchdown with the way that this Aquinas defense has been playing. 2 touchdowns is a big road to hoe.
Finn Barnett will check in. He'll send McCormick off on a 2nd and 10 play. This should be the last play of quarter number 3. We're inside 30 seconds to go in the quarter. Aquinas back in the red zone, up 7. There's been a scoreless third quarter to this point. Raboyne is going to turn. Give to Jackson behind left guard. Falls forward for about 2 yards, and that's going to make it 3rd and 8 as we head for quarter number 4. The clock will tick down. Aquinas will watch it go. A scoreless third quarter. We head to quarter number 4. 21-14 St. Thomas Aquinas. We have got ourselves a fight and a monster third down coming up on the other side of this break. Stay tuned to your Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Strong roots, endless possibilities. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
All of a sudden, Blue Valley has found themselves backed into a corner. Down 10, 24-14. Just 7 seconds into quarter number 4. But now you need 2 scores to tie this game. O'Leary's kick is well through the back of the end zone, about 15 yards.
Impressive.
Off the goal line. So here comes That Blue Valley offense against the wind, mind you. And Walker Kinney, Cameron Green, both banged up on their last offensive drive. We'll see who returns here as they start the fourth quarter down 10.
Got to think that both of them at least be out there. I know Walker Kinney was running around this after that play, looking like he was going to get back in there, and sure enough, he is. So let's see.
Is that Green right there in the slot to the right? Yeah. Sure is. So Cameron Green's back, Walker Kinney's back, and Blue Valley, you can exhale now. 2 left, 2 right. Walker Kinney in this offense, they need to get it kick-started. They haven't scored since the 4:29 mark of the second quarter. Kinney, pistol snap, is going to give to Olson on a counter. Crawls forward near the 23-yard line, short gain. And here comes second down.
Got to get something going a little. Maybe try some tempo, do something, because this offense is just moving at a snail's pace, not as crisp as it was in that second quarter. Maybe try to get a little tempo, do something to take this game to this Aquinas defense, who's playing outstanding the second half.
Bo Palmer in there at tailback now for Blue Valley. Kinney, hard count, pistol snap, pressure coming, dumps it off to Palmer in the flat. He's got a blocker. He's got a first down, 30, 35, lowers the shoulder, and he's out across the 38-yard line. And now Bo Palmer is shaken up.
He was shaken up before this play. That just shows you how tough he is able to find a way. I just keep seeing lots and lots of Blue Valley players reaching down, stretching out. They got a lot of guys that are battling cramps. Obviously, dehydration. It's warmer than what you think it is because it's a windy night, but it's still almost 90 degrees at kickoff, so a lot of dehydration going on here. But a nice swing pass there by Walker Kinney to get the first down. Great counter to the blitz by the Aquinas defense.
They spotted at the 39 of Blue Valley, and the Tigers trying to get back into a rhythm offensively. That play helps. We're inside 11 minutes to go with the ball game. Kinney is going to throw a slant route left side, and it's incomplete. He shot it over the head of Dorian Stevens, and it's 2nd and 10.
Tell you what, I like that one being overthrown because if he throws that a little bit more on the line, that might be interception, pick 6, coming back the other way.
Olson back out there at tailback as Bo Palmer had that big catch and run play on a 2nd and 10 and then came up gimping. He's off now. But again, everyone back out there for Blue Valley. So everyone that's been injured, back out there on that offense. 2nd and 10. They're going to fake to Olson, flare it out. Cameron Green dropped the screen pass. They're going to say it was a forward pass. They call it incomplete, and it's 3rd and 10.
That's something we don't see too often. Cameron Green with back-to-back drops, and I think he saw or felt the presence of a defensive back coming flying at him and tried to go before he caught the football. Sometimes you see you take your eyes off the football before you catch it and try to make that first move. That's what he did right there.
They seem tired. Blue Valley does.
They do. That's a good point.
3rd and 10. They need to find a spark here. Kinney, short drop, has time, stepping up, delivers over the middle. It is behind Cameron Green and incomplete. And if that's on the money, Cameron Green is gone.
Yeah. Yep, no question. No question. Good call, Tim. It was a post route, and he was man-to-man against Terrence Collins, and he had the free safety beat to the inside. And, boy, Walker Kinney stepped up into the pocket and just threw it behind his receiver.
And now this is Randy Dreiling's sweet spot. Up 10, 10:45 to go in the ball game, and this is exactly the position he wants to be in. Wants to milk the clock now, and he's very capable of taking off this last 10:45. Punt unit out there, late rushing people onto the field. And now a whistle.
Oh, my gosh. Another
timeout. Man.
Not what you want to do. Coach Terrell's going to be just steamed because you got to have the timeouts in your pocket going against a running attack that's going to do, like you just mentioned, is going to do everything in their power to eat away at this clock once they get this football back. That's just going to be frustrating that you're going to only have one timeout left the rest of the game.
And again, these are week 1 struggles. I mean, there's no point in sugarcoating it. This is week 1 football. I mean, a lot of mistakes, a lot of mental mistakes, and that's what we've seen, especially on that Tiger side in the second half.
Get you a couple score updates here. Lee Summit North just blistering St. Joe Central. Lee Summit North, they're a good team. I keep an eye on them. They're up 41-7 over St. Joe Central. Ray Peck's up 14-0 over Blue Springs South. Liberty still up over Park Hill 17-13. Lee Summit West has scored, but they still trail 15-7. Lee Summit's up 21-10 over Belton, and we continue to see that Brockhurst is up 17-0 over Blue Springs. That might be the shocker of the night so far.
Terrence Collins stands back awaiting this punt at the 22-yard line. This punt was nearly blocked. Wobbling punt, hits to the 35, rolls near the 31-yard line. It's down right there, and here comes the Saints of St. Thomas Aquinas off a field goal on their last drive. Are sitting in the driver's seat, up 10, 24-14. Now 10:35 to go in the ball game. And for Blue Valley, you can't allow them to do much offensively.
No, you need a 3-and-out here. You need a 3-and-out. You need to do something to get the football back, strip the ball, force a fumble. But a 3-and-out would be just what the doctor ordered too.
Here comes STA. Tank Young back in there. Again, he missed the end of last drive, but now back in at fullback. And Raboyne climbs in under center. He is going to option it near side. We're being run down near the 29-yard line was Finn Barnett. That play never came to fruition for STA. That's a loss of a yard.
Yeah, that's just not the same type of speed on the perimeter, but also just blown up by this Blue Valley defense. I mean, I know they're tired. You got to come up and make a big tackle like that, and 4 or 5 guys rallied to the football there on that play. Nice job there by this Tigers defense.
It's a good start to this drive for this Tigers defense as well. They need to get the offense back on the field as quickly as possible, as we have just crept inside 10 minutes in this 10-point game. Barnett, Jackson, and Young, the 3 running backs in the formation for Raboyne. Sends one in motion, gives to Young, dances around 1, dances around 2, gets to the 40-yard line, gain of 11, and he's right at the sticks.
Tell you what I love about him is that it doesn't take him long to get from first gear to third gear to fourth gear to overdrive. Right there, just in a blink of an eye, within 2 steps, he was at full speed, going straight up that crease. Nice hole. 3rd and inches now after that run.
Just shy of that first down marker. And again, we saw a 3rd and inches on the last drive, and Tank Young barely got it by the nose of the football. And if I was a betting man, I'd say that's the play call again here. Raboyne keeps it, and he's got the first down. Across the 43-yard line, needed a few inches, picked up 2 yards, and the Saints pick up a first down.
Nice. Simple, easy. Don't make it complicated when you need just a simple first down.
Right. 9:17 to go. And that's going to be the focal point of this drive for both teams. Dreiling wants to kill as much as he can. Terrell for Blue Valley, he wants to save as much of that as he can. Raboyne in under center. Takes the snap. He's going to keep it. A busted play, and he's busted. Back at the 40-yard line. And they're going to spot it up at the 42. And that's, man. I know it's 2 yards, but he never even got there. He was met back at the 40 and driven straight back.
Sterling Smithson, the reserve defensive tackle. This is just how crazy he's on the ground now. He's cramped up in it too, but this shows you just how crazy it is here when these schools have 6'3", 300-pound backup linemen coming off the bench there, and he's a backup, but he did a nice job blowing up that play. But you're right. I mean, to be able to only get to only say he lost a couple yards when it looked like it was a 4 or 5 yard loss, that just is kind of crazy here.
Yeah, first contact was at the 40, and they have it spotted just shy of the 42-yard line.
Yeah. Got a timeout here. Let's get some scores here. Maybe one of the more surprising scores, how close this is. New coach there at Shawnee Mission East. Shawnee Mission East 16-14 over Gardner Edgerton. Gardner Edgerton also has a new coach, Ryan Cornelson, who was Alex Delton, the K-State quarterback's coach back in high school. He's now at Gardner Edgerton. Justin Hooper takes over for Coach Fred Richard. He was there, didn't even coach a game at Shawnee Mission East. That's going to be one more fascinating storylines to follow this season. Olathe North is rolling Olathe East 35-7. Free State 34-0 over Olathe West. Mill Valley's down 21-24 over Blue Valley West. That would be a very good win for Blue Valley West to start their season off. And St. James continues to do what St. James does. They're up 41-7 over Blue Valley Northwest.
2nd and 12 out of the timeout for St. Thomas Aquinas. They've got 2 timeouts left. Blue Valley's got 1 timeout left. 8:57 to go in the fourth quarter. 24-14. Saints lead with the football. Raboyne sends a man in motion. He's going to play fake. Wants to throw. Throws left side. It is juggled and dropped on the sideline by Grabble, and it's going to be 3rd and long. So here we go on a big
call.
3rd down. Yeah.
Running the ball all over them, and then you run a pass play. Knowing that Blue Valley has 1 timeout left.
And it stops the clock.
And exactly.
8:52
That's where I was going with that.
Tell you what, we got this down.
We can finish each other's sentences, you know. We know what we're talking about.
3rd and 12. And do you consider putting it in the air if you're Randy Dreiling? Try to keep this drive alive. Raboyne, hard count. He's going to play fake. Wants to throw. Pressure coming. Sets up the screen for Young. He's going to get around the corner. 45, 50. Stutter gets dragged down from behind right at the sticks, and they're going to give him a 1st down.
Like the play call. Like that you get it to your playmaker. And I tell you what, he had a head of momentum. Once he beat that first guy, you knew he was going to get the 1st down there. Like the play call. That makes up for the head scratcher on 2nd down. Good play call there. Worked to perfection. Nice job by Raboyne and Young.
It's a boomer bust play call, but when you got the offensive line that you do for St. Thomas Aquinas, you're going to boom a lot more than you're going to bust. Raboyne is going to option right side, flip to Young, trying to get to the edge, getting chased down, looking for the cutback. He got it, 45 up to the 40, still driving to the 37-yard line. Again, making it happen.
He was dead at the line of scrimmage. He was going to get 0 yards, but he managed to somehow get through Mason Richmond's grasp and gets 9 yards. That's just amazing individual effort. And you know what? It was blocked okay, but that's individual effort right there. This kid's really stinking good, guys. Really stinking good.
We talked about at the top, they're the favorite on this side of the state to get back to the state championship, and you are starting to see why here in this fourth quarter. 7:48 to go fourth quarter. Tank Young runs off. He's catching a breather right now. Charlie McCormick is in at fullback in his place on a 2nd and 1 play after the 9-yard scamper. Raboyne is going to keep it running left side. He's got the 1st down behind left tackle, and he gets popped at the 30-yard line, gain of 6. They move the chains again, and that clock will continue to roll.
There's Tank Young's stat line for the night. 26 carries, 256 yards on the ground, and 2 scores.
Man.
That'll do.
Yesterday, Bryson Covens had a 200-yard performance for Bishop Miege.
And they're similar type backs. They're smallish, very electric, know how to take one step and manage to get going in a quickness. And it was fun watching both these guys play. And I mean, we were kind of wondering who some of the top running backs in the city are. I had a chance to see them back-to-back nights here, and I think you can make an argument that 2 of the best running backs in the entire city on both sides of the state line are in the EKL, which is just no surprise.
By the way, Sports Radio 810's coverage is brought to you by the Sports Medicine Performance Center at the University of Kansas Health System and A&B CarStar. Check out this week's Papa John's Fan Challenge now through Saturday. Fans of Blue Valley can use online promo code 810Tigers, and St. Thomas Aquinas fans can use 810Saints, PapaJohns.com, and receive 30% off their order. 10% of that goes back to the Booster Club. The team with the most online orders will receive an additional 10% Booster Club donation. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. At the end of this one, stay tuned after for the Bob Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, Rooter, and Electrical post-game show. Chad Rader will be in the driver's seat for that, giving you all the scores and happenings from a busy Friday night in Kansas City.
All right.
7:20 to go in this fourth quarter, and it's just about do or die time now for this Tigers defense. A touchdown pretty much buries them this late in the ball game. If you can get off the field, you can give your offense a shot. Young remains off the field after the timeout. Raboyne is going to give to McCormick straight up the middle, runs over a man near the 20, 10 quick yards for Charlie McCormick straight up the gut. And it should be another first down or close to it.
Yeah, this offensive line's just taking over. Deontay Brown, the reserve left tackle, doing an outstanding job. Chris Mazingo, Tommy Tholen, we haven't talked a little bit about him at all. He's a center, another big kid, another 6'3", 260-pounder. They're just some big, big guys up front, and they've taken over this game. And as you mentioned earlier, it sure looks like this Blue Valley team on both sides of the ball is just worn out.
McCormick remains in as the deep back for Raboyne. They marked him just short, so 2nd and a yard. The Blue Valley defense, hands on hips, getting tired. Raboyne sends a man in motion. He's going to give to Jackson, running the left side, and he is going to get, they didn't give to Jackson. It was actually Raboyne on the keeper who picks up the first down, still to the 13-yard line. I lost the football, but they end up getting that first down yardage and then some out to the 13-yard line.
I tell you what, this is impressive just watching this Aquinas offensive line just lean on Blue Valley. I mean, Blue Valley's the program that's known throughout the entire city for their weight training program. They've just always had guys that are bigger, stronger, faster than everybody else in the city. Tell you what, this new weight room that they've got built over here at Aquinas, they've taken advantage of it here in this fall. In this off season, they've come ready to play. They're big, they're strong, and watching Miege last night. That's gonna be fun watching Miege and Aquinas later on this season.
Raboyne hands to McCormick behind his left guard, pushes the pile across the 10 near the 9-yard line. Inside 6 minutes to go, 24-14. Aquinas in the driver's seat, up 10.
Yeah, hey, mark your calendar. October 12th, last regular season of the game. St. Thomas Aquinas. Bishop Miege.
Can't wait.
Right here.
Can't wait.
That's going to be a great one. Going to be a great one.
Maybe back out on the roof for that game.
Hey, I'll stand on the roof.
You put me in the parking lot for that one.
Should be fun.
2nd and 6 from the 9-yard line of Blue Valley.
Tick, tick, tick. Look at this. Eat this clock up. Great job here.
They got the ball with 10:45 to go in the ball game. Raboyne is going to toss right side. Jackson looking for a cutback lane. He's got it inside the 5 to the 3, and he's decked down. It'll be 1st and goal for St. Thomas Aquinas.
This is impressive, Tim. This is just very, very impressive. They're owning this.
This clock, the next time they snap it, is going to be inside 5 minutes.
That's interesting. We see a lot of people from the Blue Valley side leaving, but there's not a lot of people leaving from this Aquinas side yet. Remember, this is the rivalry that Aquinas was beat down for years in. This was something that Blue Valley just dominated this rivalry, and this has got to be pretty exciting for this community to have back-to-back, looking like they're going to have back-to-back wins over the Tigers.
They take the play clock all the way down. Raboyne is going to keep it running right side. He gets swallowed up and thrown back. Forward progress should have him near the line of scrimmage. And it'll be 2nd and goal, but more importantly, we're inside 4.5 to play.
They almost don't want to score too quickly here. They just keep that clock going.
I told you before the drive, this is Randy Dreiling's sweet spot.
Yeah.
He loves it. Up 2 scores in the fourth quarter. And again, got it with almost 11 minutes to go. And again, when they snap this football, we're going to be inside 4 minutes. O'Leary is to the left. Cameron Jackson is to the right. Charlie McCormick is the deep back for Tate Raboyne, the senior quarterback. Play clock at 5. Snap. He's going to roll right. He's going to throw for the end zone. Wide open. Joe O'Leary on the back line. Got his feet down. A touchdown. And there is your dagger. The Saints go up 3 scores on Blue Valley. A touchdown pass for Tate Raboyne. And Joe O'Leary is in the end zone. And now it's all STA.
Yeah, simple play action pass. Wide open. There were actually two receivers in the back of the end zone that were wide open, and Larry's like, oh, I'll just take it. Go up and get the ball, big guy. Senior gets a touchdown reception, first game of the season.
O'Leary caught the touchdown. He's going to do the kicking, and this kick is shanked. So no good. Actually, I misspoke. It remains a 2-score game, 30-14.
Still does, yeah.
3:48 to go. We step aside on your Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
St. Thomas Aquinas, another touchdown their last drive, but a missed extra point have put them up 30-14. End over end kick is going to go through the back of the end zone once again. And here comes that Blue Valley offense, so not dead yet after the shanked extra point. Still a 16-point lead, but again, this offense has not scored since the midway point of the second quarter.
Yeah, another score update from the 810 Varsity scoreboard. Rocker still up 17-0 over Blue Springs. Still one of the surprises of the night. 15-15 Lee Summit West and Fort Osage. The Titans have rallied. Staley, I was really excited to see what happens in this game. Staley up 28-7 over Kearney. That game's a lot closer than what it was last year. And Raytown South's up over Winnetonka 13-7.
Here comes that Tigers offense. And again, they have sputtered, again, ever since the midway point of that second quarter. It looked like they were onto something in quarter number 2, but again, the Aquinas defense has turned them away, and then there have been some missed opportunities for Blue Valley at the same time. 4 receivers in the formation. Kinney pistol snap and a short drop. He's going to throw an out route and complete it near the 29-yard line. Diving grab made by Cameron Green.
Now, seeing tempo, a little bit of tempo. You got to go quicker in this, though.
Yeah. And you have to know what you're running. You can't sit at the line and check play calls from the sideline forever. They get to the line, 3:25 to go, third quarter. Kinney, here's the snap, short drop, stepping up in the pocket, evades one. 35-36, takes a huge hit, and a flag flies, and we're going to have a targeting call.
I think that's the right call, too. And actually, crazy is Zach Goodyean ended up getting the worst of the blow from Walker Kinney, but I think that's the right call because he lowered his helmet. And
yeah, Goodyean is shaken up.
I mean, he lowered his helmet, and that's you talk about proper tackling technique, and that wasn't it. That wasn't it. And it didn't help that Walker Kinney lowered his shoulder too, kind of put the angle of tackle a little bit differently. But Goodyean definitely led with his head there, and that's going to be targeting. And let's hope he's okay because he definitely got the brunt of that targeting play.
Goodyean, a returning starter on this Saints defense.
And you see that in the NFL and college. People complain so much about the targeting call and overprotecting quarterbacks, but that was the right call there. That was clearly the right call. He lowered his helmet and led with his head. You just can't do that, and it's unfortunate. That I hope he's okay, but you got to protect the ball carrier in that situation. That's the right call.
Goodyean also holds offers from Missouri Western and Benedictine. So he's a next level guy, whether it be at the D2 or NAI level, but still, he's an athlete. He's a big kid, too.
Yeah.
Again, it took the brunt of that. What is it, 6'3", 239?
240, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Walker Kinney's a big kid, too, 6'3", 205. So it's going to be fun to it's not fun, but it's going to be, hopefully he's okay and hopefully able to recover. I'm already thinking about next week a little bit, too. We got Blue Valley North and this Blue Valley team, just to see the two quarterbacks, see Walker Kinney versus Graham Mertz. And last night, Graham Mertz was he won't see a defense like that maybe until he sees this Aquinas defense, but he was pressured all night long and threw 3 interceptions. Still threw for 300 yards. His stat line didn't look as good as well as he played last night because he made some really, really nice plays. Just unfortunately, his offensive line lost some key pieces from last season, and but it's gonna be fun to see these two quarterbacks go against each other, and I kind of expect some points to be scored.
Games next week, by the way, if you were curious. Blue Valley and Blue Valley North from Blue Valley. And that should be a fun one. As of now, it is slated as our 8-10 game of the week. So you're in luck. We're in luck. That's a much roomier press box over there.
Yes, it
so I'm
is.
not going to complain
No doubt.
at all.
Yeah, and Aquinas, I mean, levels off for him a little bit. I mean, they play Blue Valley Southwest. They were up earlier tonight, and it looks like they're going to get a win, but that's not the same level as playing against Blue Valley. They play Blue Valley Northwest. Blue Valley Northwest is not a high-level EKL team, and then they've got Mill Valley. Mill Valley, that might be an interesting challenge, but I don't think Mill Valley is at the same level as what they were when they won those back-to-back Class 5A state championships. They got Blue Valley West. I mean, this schedule just sets up really nicely for the Saints to do a lot of damage until they get to that last game. Well, the last 2 games, they have St. James. St. James looks like they're pretty solid again this year, but everybody's going to have that October 12th game against Bishop Miege circled. But I like the way that this schedule sets up for Randy Dryland. There's no reason why they shouldn't be undefeated and 7-0 heading into that last game of the season.
And this is the 5th season at the helm for Randy Dryling, and you can make the argument that this is his best squad. In the 4 years previous, he's made it to the semifinals twice, made it to the state championship twice, hasn't won the state title game, but I don't know if he's had a team quite as loaded as this one.
Well, and there was an expectation for Aquinas to win at the high level, and they weren't doing that. I mean, 2010 they were 6-3, 2011 4-5, 2012 they did rebound and were 10-2, but in 13 before he took over they were 3-7, and he immediately comes in and gets them to 9-4, gets them to 9-3 in 5A semifinals in 2015, and then 8-4 in 16. But then last year's team gets all the way to the state championship game, and just ran into a buzzsaw in the championship game, and yeah, they're loaded. They're loaded. This is as talented of a squad as we've seen in a long time, and boy, they're taking a long time here to look at Gideon. It's hopefully, both teams are now on knees. Hopefully, just from a precautionary standpoint, but certainly.
Yeah, that's what we've been waiting on. If you were curious, and Mom's out there now, so I mean, obviously, thoughts and prayers for this kid right now is you're starting to get a little bit concerned with him still out there on the field. And again, it was a targeting call. We take you back to that play. Walker Kinney ends up tucking it and running it, getting out of the pocket and gets towards the middle of the field. He's starting to get down, lowers his shoulder, lowers his helmet, and Goodian ends up making helmet-to-helmet contact. The flag came out, and Goodian remained down. And again, this is a next-level guy, offered by Mo West, offered by Benedictine within a month, actually, at the end of the summer. So a real solid end of the summer for this kid as he gets some scholarships stack up on each other. And depending on how he plays this year, could have even more. And obviously, you're just hoping for the well-being of this kid right now.
Yeah, definitely. Hopefully it's just out of utter abundance of caution. But, if it is head-to-head, often you see neck injuries. I don't want to speculate too much, but certainly you often see neck injuries with these things, and they do take a lot of precaution with those types of situations, and you want to make sure that everything is okay. You don't want to because you can cause further damage by moving around a lot in these types of situations. So let's just hope that it's out of a abundance of caution and it's not as bad as it potentially could be.
Again, 30-14, 3:16 to play, fourth quarter. We're going to step aside for a minute, take a break, as we'll keep an eye on Goodyear. Let you know what's going on the other side of this break. Stay with us on your Sports Radio 810 High School Football Game of the Week.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Chiefs checking from Community America gets you closer to the game. Is there any better way to get closer?
Hey, man. Go long.
Chiefs checking from Community America.
High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on and on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com. High school sports fans, Trent Green here, and when I want the latest scores and news, there's only one place I go, 810varsity.com. Live scores, features, brackets, and even watch games live on the laptop, phone, or mobile device. Watch the Lee Summit, Blue Springs, and Park Hill schools, Blue Valleys, Olathes, Rockhurst, Miege, Lansing. The list goes on into Missouri and Kansas. And playoff broadcasts too, plus top 25, awards, and more. Check it out now, Kansas City's home for high school sports, 810varsity.com.
Chiefs checking from Community America gets you closer to the game. Is there any better way to get closer?
Hey, man. Go long.
Chiefs checking from Community America.
We have great news for you as they carted off Zach Gideon. They had him strapped down. He was almost all the way off the field, and he gave the fully arm extended thumbs up. So that is great news for the young man. Obviously, he's hurt. He's got to go to the hospital, but it would appear that he dodged a bullet, and that's great news. And we're ready for football. So a sigh of relief from everyone in the building tonight and everyone listening and watching online. That's great news for that young man. And Walker Kinney back to work. He's going to hand to Olsen going straight up the middle, carries the pile near the 45-yard line. 3:10 as we jump back into the action here in the fourth quarter. 16-point lead, 30-14.
A lot of the air has been obviously sucked out because of that situation here, but we still have 3 minutes of football to finish, and Aquinas needs to finish this game off.
Kinney, short drop out of the pistol, getting pressured, rolling to his right. He's going to unload it. It is caught by Stevens, and he scoots out of bounds at the 41. Wow. Good grab by Dorgan Stevens.
That's a tremendous grab. Going up and getting the football over Elias Carson. That's a nice individual one-on-one win there. Still 3rd and 7, though. 3rd and 3, excuse me.
2:50 to go in the ball game, and yeah, you said it, 3rd and 3 after the connection to Stevens. 3 left, 1 right for Blue Valley. Again, a lot quieter in this building now. Short drop for Kinney. Pressure coming right at him. He's going to step up, and now he's going to get dropped. back at the 35-yard line, and it's going to be 4th down in Blue Valley, down to their final shot.
That is Javier Derritt again with another outstanding defensive play from his defensive tackles spot. They play a 4-3 or 3-4 defense. He's basically a defensive end, and he's been getting after Walker Kenny all night long.
2:22 to go in the ball game. Kenny, short snap. He's going to step up, in trouble, and had no chance. He goes down back at the 48. They short hop the snap to him, and when he picked it up, he was looking at blue jerseys all around, and there is a turnover on downs for the Tigers, and here come the Saints.
That snap was just weird. It was almost like a normal snap when somebody's under center, but Blue Valley doesn't ever go under center.
Right.
So on that play, just maybe kind of personifies here what this second half has been for the Tigers. Not the type of effort that Coach Terrell expected from his group. There was a lot of high hopes. They ranked 5th in the city, 2nd in the 6A early polls. They don't look like a number 2 team in 6A at this point.
2:16 to go as St. Thomas Aquinas takes over. Blue Valley can only stop the clock one time.
ID whenever you can.
Raboyne turns and gives to McCormick, running behind his left guard. He pushes the pile forward to the 48-yard line, and we pause for station identification.
Kansas City's favorite sports station, 20 years and counting. Sports Radio 810 WHB, Kansas City.
Inside 2 to go. Blue Valley holds on to that timeout for now. Blue Valley doesn't get much easier. We were talking about it earlier. They're looking down the barrel of Graham Mertz and Blue Valley North next Friday from Blue Valley. Both of those teams are going to start 0-1.
Well, and it doesn't get any easier after that. I mean, they do have Blue Valley Southwest sandwiched, but then they have to go to Rockhurst, and looks like Rockhurst has rebounded and put some life back into their program. And then, they've got Bishop Miege on October 5th, so it's not going to get any easier for the Tigers here the next few months.
McCormick on the toss play, scampers out into Blue Valley territory to the 47-yard line. That's going to move the chains. Stops the clock at 1:20, and now Alan Terrell may not even burn that final timeout he's got.
This is a good win, though, for Aquinas. Kind of what we thought would happen. Their offense would just grind it out. We knew about their explosive running back, Tank Young, Cameron Jackson, but Tate Raboyne's done a nice job tonight. I know he's not going to have a lot of gaudy numbers, but 2 touchdown passes, did have 1 interception, but has been very good with his reads tonight.
Raboyne is going to take the snap, drop to a knee, and Alan Terrell will not burn that last time out. So STA is going to get out of here 1-0. And they made a statement tonight in week 1. And again, we talked about it before the start of this broadcast. This is 2 top 5 teams in the city. Aquinas came in ranked number 3. Blue Valley came in ranked number 5. Blue Valley will certainly drop in the rankings. They definitely won't drop out of the top 25. And this is still a very good team. And this is the same team that got hammered by Miege on opening night last year and made it to the 6A state semifinal game.
That's very true. Don't forget about that.
Raboyne falls to 1 more knee, and that's going to put an end to this one. 30-14, Aquinas. They shut down Blue Valley in the second half. End up outscoring them 9-0 in this fourth quarter to pace themselves to a 30-14 win. Tyron Tank Young, remember the name, he put on a show tonight. Nearly 300 yards on the ground for the young man. He totals 256, a couple of touchdowns for him. Tate Raboyne, he also threw a couple of touchdowns. One to his tight end Gable, one to Joe O'Leary in the back of the end zone. Walker Kenny on the other side, 12 for 26, throwing the football, 153 yards and a touchdown. Eric Olson, leading rusher for Blue Valley, 13 carries, 91 yards. Almost all of those came in the first half, by the way.
Yep.
And he scored a touchdown on the ground. Again, your final 30-14. St. Thomas Aquinas, they make a statement in week 1. They cruise past the Tigers of Blue Valley by 16. And that'll end our evening here from Overland Park. Thank you for joining us. I am Tim Spurl. He is Jeremy Crabtree. We're going to throw it back to Chad Rader in the studio for your post-game wrap-up.